Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is David Turner. I'm with my pals, Sean Bell,
Hello.
James Farley,
Hello.
and Matt Murray.
Hello.
Men of the Night. We have Patreon producers to announce this week. They are the Full Nels crew, and we love all of them. Their names are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Jack Oven, Grey Dragon Claw, Colin the Carwanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, Evil Mammal, Boza Karma, Conky Donkers, Full Nels Conga, and Laser Quest. They support the show at the best tier, at the coolest tier. Yeah, we look at that tier and go, how cool are they? They're super cool. But if you're not as cool, but still pretty cool, then please go to patreon.com/TCGS. Support what we're doing. You know, there ain't many, people on the internet talking about video games, and that'll be gone if we're not supported. So think about that.
You will miss it.
Yeah, support grassroots media.
Where will you get the opinions of four middle-aged, bearded white men about video games? Where would you go for that?
No, you can't get these days because of woke. So
support
actually, no,
us,
does that
or the
work,
loony lefties of one. Yeah?
Yeah.
The lefties of one. Is that what you want? Is
support media, like independent media, please. Or just
patreon.com/TCGS. Help support the show. There is a Patreon stream coming up this Sunday, if you're on the right here. This Sunday at 9 p.m. We're all playing John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which Sean assures us is very much Left 4 Dead. So we're all looking forward to that. That is Sunday at 9
Funny
p.m.
if I'm wrong, won't it? That'll be good.
I've heard nothing but good things about this game, actually, so I'm quite looking forward to playing it. But that is happening this Sunday at 9 p.m. if you're signed up to the correct tier on our patreon.com/TCGS. Another plug here for Ian Lee's Imposter Syndrome. That's coming to Manchester on April the 19th at 53.2. Come and see myself and Ian Lee on stage and Sean and Matt in the audience. If that sounds like a good night
don't look
to
at
you,
me and Sean in the audience because you ruin the show for yourself. Just focus on Dave and Ian.
You go to ianlee.com for tickets and we will see you there. Right, should we get to feedback from last week's show? I mean, it was one of the all-time greats, wasn't it?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. I don't know who they are, but they are saying it's one of the all-time greats. And
Edge
I
gave it a
believe
6. So
which means day one. Essential,
we didn't watch it. Did we win the Oscar in the end?
Yep.
Yeah.
We did. Oh, wicked Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the post. In the post. Terry Mulholland has messaged, if Matt can kill a man with one punch on a regular day, should we be afraid of what he can do with all this new power from creatine? You fucking should, Terry, honestly. I feel more powerful than ever. I could probably punch 2 men to death. Like Dick Tracy style.
I forgot about the creatine thing. Did we get... I mean, look, I'll never understand it, but I did listen to it back. It gives you more power, David, and I still didn't understand.
There was plenty of chat of it in the Health and Fitness channel on Discord. I would put on it. It's not just me.
I'm not welcome in there. I think
we're all loving the creatine. We're filled to the brim with it.
It never occurred to me to use it to help with running, but my limit with running is entirely like heart and lung based rather than like a muscular thing. So I don't think it would help.
Yeah, my reason, like I could have creatine to help me run, or I could just be a little bit more fit than what I currently am. I think that's more of a hindrance than the lack of creatine.
Yeah, it's an addition. It's not like it's not a cheat code, I don't think.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Like me, as a very unhealthy person with terrible lungs, if I took creatine, would I be able to run, Matt?
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Be like Forrest Gump.
Really?
No, it's not. Probably the fastest man on the planet, I reckon, actually.
Fuck. Okay.
Why not?
Fuck.
That was a weird thing to say.
Okay. MD Kraboffs last week when James's hypothetical second wedding was going to take place in a cathedral, Matt piped up with City. Congratulations on the excellent cheese reference. I'm sure James's dream wedding would be held in a giant cheese.
You're right. But it depends on the time of year, wouldn't it? Because of the smell.
MD Krabuffs, can I ask? Yeah, it would, yeah.
Yeah, so winter cheese wedding.
If I can melt, it? Can I just suggest MD Krabuffs didn't know how to end that message in and just thought, I'm sure just like a whimsical end to the thing. I'm just sure James' dream wedding will be held in a giant cheese. Send.
I mean, it's
Listening
true.
to this now, like, oh fuck, did I send that in? Shit.
How drunk was I? What did I do last night? I didn't send an email with, I hope James's dream wedding will be in a giant cheese, did I? Fuck, not again.
Thanks, MD Krabuffs.
Fish and Cushion. Hello, TCGS. Did you know that contactless payment on console already exists? It may blow your socks off to learn that your console video game player of choice can store your payment details digitally through the invisible power of the internet and allow you to purchase a game instantly at the touch of a button. Wowie zowie, ain't it a time to be alive? Yeah. How much less contact do you want? Putting Shigumi Moto in charge of your bank account? Having a direct line to God? Seems like you're watching too much now, boys.
Wow. Okay. Firstly, Fish and Cushion. What a name that is! Yep. I'm fully in support of that as a name on the internet. Secondly, I still didn't understand what you were talking about until about midway through that message and the fucking penny dropped, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Why would you need? Yes. Okay. Well done. Fish and Cushion.
Maybe I don't want to store my details to get hacked.
Exactly. I mean, I don't.
It's like, one of those.
Because of what happened with PlayStation.
You know, I don't either. I do it through PayPal and I do it on my phone. Like once it says, scan as QR code, etc.
Wouldn't it be funny if Microsoft Project Helix were like, guys, we've listened, we've taken your feedback on board, we've put a card reader on it.
Yeah, but it was like, and Nintendo then did it after that. But it was one of those swipe ones, or like those big machines that you put in, and you have to
like a thing across it. Yeah. Oh, then
and you also have to sign it as well for some reason. It's just,
you have to write a check.
Goes through in about 2 weeks.
You write a check out. You hold it up to the Nintendo camera. It scans it.
Yeah.
You wait. Then Face ID.
And then you realise the Nintendo camera.
Process a lot of checks now. That's how they do it.
What?
That's how they process most checks now, don't they? It's just computer just fucking scans them and.
Yep.
Just
okay.
Let's get feedback, please, Matt.
It's great because there's like some people in this show who like really hate me. And sometimes I do think, I sort of get it.
I don't think it's that. What it was. I could tell what happened. It was like what happened when there was some pre-show chat, listeners. Sorry if you listen to the pod, but you did that thing that I did where we was all saying something, and then your brain wasn't like thinking, "Oh, what's the let's how to extend the joke." Your brain just went, "Oh yeah, you could do that now, don't you? I do that on my bank when I get that," and then you just said it. Never change.
I won't. I'm incapable of it, I think. At this point, so.
Yeah, no, you do get to an age where you're like, fuck it, I can't be bothered anymore. Next.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, not you. No,
not me.
No, never you, Matt.
Oh,
you'll
100%
you'll still be on your hoverboard at night.
Chopping and changing. Always chopping and changing. You can't stop me. Not a hoverboard. Oh, God, that thing is in the family home loft. I should probably remove it before it blows up.
Your hoverboard?
Oh, God,
no, the electric skateboard.
One day.
The electric skateboard,
right. What was that thing? But do you remember, like, a few years back?
There was those things that
the
you stood on.
hoverboard.
Yeah, I never.
And they called them hoverboards, and they had wheels.
There's no hovering at all, was
As Matt said, they also had fire problems as well, like attached to the batteries exploding and stuff like that, which was.
I love the way you describe that as fire problems.
This one's got a fire problem in that it's on fire.
Some fire is good. Fireplace, campfire.
Yeah.
Other fires are bad.
Battery
Other
fires
fires no, they're not bad, Sean. They're problems.
Yeah, the problems. Sorry.
Go on.
Ian has messaged, "Hi everyone, I'm a long-time listener and first-time caller. Great to hear you're giving Evercade some love. I'm 2 years in, and what began as a bit of curiosity has now turned into a bit of an addiction. I now own over 40 carts. This is in your future now, David. I also have a Miu device. I often find myself playing bits and bobs of different games because the choices are so overwhelming. However, with the Evercade, this experience is simplified for me. Plus, there's just something more satisfying about slotting in a cart. David mentioned the availability of carts. You can usually get them from Amazon or Argos without any hassle at all. However, new releases often sell it very quickly. Then there are legacy carts like Namco Collection, which are no longer in print due to limited licensing. You'll struggle to find these outside of CEX or similar retailers. Finally, I apologise for going on for so long. The leaderboard issue David described seems to be an issue with Puzzle Bobble. Usually, high scores are saved to the cart, so hopefully a patch will be released soon. Love the podcast. It's always a highlight. Cheers, everyone. From Ian.
Thanks for that. That's really interesting. But I've been really looking into the Evercade stuff this week because I've been hammering it. Like, I love the little machine. And I'm playing Puzzle Bobble more than anything else. I can't get it to auto load. However, I did notice that before you load a game, it's got start or load last save, so you can quickly flick over and just go straight to that. And I love the fact, like, I've been going into the menus and stuff and fucking around with bits and pieces. And for each game, you can set a coin limit as well to stop people just like hammering loads of coins in and just having unlimited lives or whatever. You could say no, you only have one coin and then you've got to start again and stuff like that. So I love all those options are in there. And when you say this about these carts and they got licenses and all that sort of stuff, it really hit me that in the week on the cabinet you've got different menus down the left hand side, and one of them is carts, and you go in there and it shows you all the carts that you can buy because it's connected to the internet, right? It's connected to Wi-Fi. And you look at all these carts you can buy, and you press them, and then you go into it. It's got a little bit about each game. And there was part of me going, well, why can't I just buy it here then? Why do I need to order a cart? Why can't I just press a button here and pay whatever it is to download to my machine? But I'm guessing it's something to do with digital distribution, and that must be licensing stuff as well. But...
thing, yeah, shit.
I think part of the whole plan of Evercade was to hark back to like a bygone age where it wasn't about just downloading instantly. It was about having the thrill of getting a cartridge and plugging it in, surely, or maybe not.
But at the same time, I
want to buy something
being
now.
able to just buy Pac-Man on it. Even if it's like a $5, you go, fucking great to have that on the machine. But I guess that was beyond them. But regardless, like, I've been having so much fun with that fucking that piece of hardware this week. It's it's lovely.
Have you or Harry won a game yet? I know Charlie's the king of that fighting game. But...
Oh, I've not been playing Street Fighter. No, I've just been playing Puzzle Bobble and the two football games we've got on it because they're just stupid. One of them, you could punch the ref in, which was brilliant after the weekend of football that I've just had. That's not funny. Abuses of referees is a very serious thing and something I've experienced myself when refereeing games. But I've been using that feature a lot in that video game, and also Metal Slug. Obviously, just absolutely hammering in Metal Slug because it's one of the best. And also, I was just really looking into the history of Neo Geo because I never really understood it.
I know, isn't it? I read the same thing, like through emulation device and stuff, because it was technically. We were old enough, right, to have been around at the same time as it, but it was so fucking expensive. It was just completely.
See that was my memory of it as well. I was just thought I don't know anybody. I don't think that ever owned one of those.
No, I don't know anyone that owned one. Yeah, but I remember being in arcades and seeing the Neo Geo thing flash up on certain games and going, I know that game is going to be fun enough to play, and also the animation's going to be leaps ahead of everything else that's around it. Like the Metal Slug, when you look at it, you go, fucking hell! Like this is so detailed and slightly, problematic in many places, but it's
I can't
really
think of anything. But I'm not
in what way?
I'll send you some. I mean, the Metal Slug 3 is fine. I think it's either Metal Slug 1 or 2 that has very poorly depicted. It's just you look back on it and go, fucking hell.
David, did you ever have a Neo Geo Pocket or anything like that?
Hell no. Weren't they insane? Like, I know that the massive one with the thing was really expensive, but the Neo Geo Pocket's really expensive too.
No, they were like, because it was supposed to be like a rival for like Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. Like when they came out. It was
nowhere near as good though. Right?
No, they and also it didn't. I don't think it did particularly well. But I also remember that there was a whole thing where you were supposed to be able to like link it up with the Dreamcast Dreamcast as well, like the Neo Geo Pocket, and do stuff. But
We already had the VMU, James. We didn't need anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something really
chewed through batteries, I didn't it?
really embarrassing? Was it?
Probably.
Isn't Capcom versus SNK a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like never knew what SNK was. It wasn't until I watched this little thing because I'm not like a fighting game fan.
Yeah.
Apart from Dead or Alive, and I just remember like I watched this video and it was talking about SNK, Neo Geo, and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? How did I not know what that was? But there you go. We've all got these sort of areas of knowledge, lack of knowledge, and that's certainly one of mine. Right.
Theo has messaged, I vastly prefer your theme tune to that of the Backpage podcast.
Get in there.
There you go. The correspondence should end there and we'll move on. But which I can't listen to without picturing the opening titles of an early 90s American chat show hosted by Ricky Lake. Now I think about it, maybe this feedback is more for them. Anyway, splendid work. Bye-bye.
Don't worry, they'll hear it.
I don't think I can allow this because Barry Topping did the theme for Backpage Pod and he's fucking brilliant. He did the Paradise Killer soundtrack, among others.
Yeah. It really reminds me of a Phoenix Wright
Phoenix Wright.
stuff, which Matt won't know because he played those games on mute. But
I did. But that's one time, one session for 2 hours, and that's it. I'm labelled forever as the guy who plays games on mute. Just because I wanted to see why people did it. I just chose that the wrong game, admittedly. Yeah.
No, that's not how it come about.
Yeah, because people are like, you've heard people playing just games without the music on, and I'll listen to other things. I'll give it a go, but turns out I chose a game with amazing music.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, you won't have to worry about it, Theo. They'll hear this bit of feedback. It'll be on their Discord within seconds of this podcast coming up. Won't it, Kurt Lewin?
Oh, no, that's not fair. We can't blame Kurt. We did it last time, and he was like, it wasn't even him. It was someone
right. Sorry,
someone
Kurt,
in the ranks.
You know you're one of my favourites. Right.
Someone in the ranks.
Next.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Kurt. T-Bat says message. That's T-Bat. That's my new favourite name. Hi, guys. I'm really surprised there hasn't been an obviously negative stance from yourselves or many other podcasts about Sony moving away from PC ports. I know you're primarily console gamers, but I think this is a massively anti-consumer move that goes against the whole more games on more platforms position that you've promoted in the past. Surely Sony gains enough profit and or reputation from releasing their old games on PC, usually at full price. Myself, along with many others, are not in a position to buy a PlayStation just for a few exclusives, no matter how good they are, and don't want to participate in their monopolistic behaviours anyway. I know it's not affect you guys, but it's short-sighted not to comment on how negatively this affects openness and competition in the market. Shit move, Sony.
All right. It's a fucking bit of a dig at us at the end there, isn't it? Do you know why?
Yeah, we can only... Go on.
Do you know what? T-Bats, right? We haven't got console wars anymore, so now we're aiming our sights at you guys, the PC lot, yeah? What's that? Sony not bringing out the games on PC, are they? I can live with it. Do you know what I mean? I'm fine with that. I don't mind that. I will live with it. All right? You can shove your Sony games because we're getting them. Oh, I'm going to get an Uncharted 7 or whatever it's going to be. No, you're not, the PC guys. No, you're not. And girls.
I suppose, and I'm not disagreeing with anything T-Bats has said because they're absolutely right. But I think part of the reason it hasn't really, it didn't really shock me that they were pulling out of doing PC stuff because it always felt quite half-hearted to begin with, right? Like it was only some of the games, and then about a year later after the console release. So I don't know. I think just because it always felt so half-arsed.
Do you know?
Yeah, of course they're binning it off. Fuck it. But it is bad all around. Like
I reckon that what happened
you've
there
got PC, we get it.
I reckon that originally they intended to. I think they were going to have like a launcher and everything, and all that. There was all that stuff with having like PSN like accounts as well to play single player games.
Yeah.
Then they got in trouble for all of that, and I think they're probably just like, this is too much. It's too much bother. Like doing this. For the return we're getting on it, it's not. What's the point?
No, I wouldn't have thought that, would I?
No,
I genuinely think it's
I don't know. You tell us. I would have thought that. Would I have thought that? Yeah, I really think it was the Xbox move to get to play PC games as well. I don't think it's like lack of effort because I'm sure they've done well out of Helldives on PC and
Yeah.
they've probably done well enough
Yeah, to be true, 'cause
selling their
Helldivers
games
was-
on PC. Like,
Helldivers 2 was day and date on both platforms, wasn't it?
yeah, like I'm sure Last of Us games sell well, and I'm sure they've talked about the game selling well. I don't think it's a lack of effort,
But-
it's more just protecting their console future.
Thank you, because it would have sounded too bitter if I did. It would have done that.
But no, my other point with this last week was just like, why is it like Sony gets it in the neck for this, but no one says the same thing about Nintendo, like being anti-competitive for not putting their games
Yeah.
on PC as well. You know, why is it? Yeah, I don't understand.
Because all
why.
Nintendo games make great use of all the things that are unique
It's-
about that. I mean, that used to be the case, right? These days, not so much.
This is the
Yeah, not so
problem.
much anymore.
If the PC, if you could play PC games, it would have to have a button with the letter C on it,
Yeah,
and you
that's
won't
true,
have
without
that,
that,
on the
that is a
PC.
good
So
point.
All
how
falls
could
apart.
you chat with your mates without a button with the C on it?
Do you know that's running
Um,
out soon? Like the free trial of that is running out. You know,
Shit.
the-
Free trial?
yeah, I know.
Of what?
It's
Of
the-
the
Nintendo
chat.
voice
chat
chat
button.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to re-up. I use it all the time. I have to pay £100 a year.
Else-
How,
else we're
what,
gonna
that doesn't
talk
come
to
with
me
Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, it does. But it's
Okay.
like when the Switch 2 was launched, they had like a period of time where it was like you didn't need Switch Online and it would still work, and that's ending very soon.
Bloody hell.
I mean, they can't many people using it. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, we're announcing it's free for everyone. Because
I mean,
surely
it
not.
just should be.
All three of
It
you.
just should be.
Yeah, not enough people use that, and it'd be a good PR move, I guess. But how many people
I
are
don't
actually
think they
going to
care.
pay for that?
I mean, it's
right,
just part of your sub, isn't it?
abrupt
No one's-
ending
I don't-
to that conversation.
Yeah, it should be part of the sub.
I'm
Actually,
pretty sure it is. It is, isn't it? It's part
It
of
is
the
Oh,
online.
part
yeah,
of the
it
sub,
is.
I
So
just
it's
said
the
so.
current free trial for non-subscribers. Yeah, yeah.
That's what James just said.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
I know.
explained that
We're
to you.
just
Did you not believe
re-clarifying.
him?
We're just clarifying.
No,
but why
you
isn't it
already
part of the
knew
sub?
that. He was just saying it
Why
again.
isn't it part of the sub? Is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Make it part of the sub, Nintendo.
Going on this week.
Go to tcgs.co to leave your feedback about what I've just said explicitly, that last bit.
Should we get to the news?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do some news because Microsoft have revealed some details of for their next, for the Project Helix stuff, and they're promising order of magnitude increase in power. And so, according to Jason Ronald, who is the
You
VP of Next Generation Efforts, what?
What? Order of what?
Order of magnitude.
It's going to be an order of magnitude increase in power.
Is that a phrase that I just don't
Yeah,
know?
it's a phrase.
Yeah,
What does it mean?
what's going to be more
Loads.
powerful? Yeah, like loads.
fuck loads more.
Yeah.
Not a bit more, fuck loads more.
Yeah.
They could have said that, but it's like swearing, it's kind of
Instead of
unprofessional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
a new leaf, said it.
It's going to be.
When Phil Spencer would be like, "Oh, this new console's going to be fucking sick," and now you can't do that anymore. So,
Yeah. So not just like 1 times, 2 times, it's like, 4 times, 5 times.
I mean, you'll be pleased to know that according to
6
Jason
times.
Ronald, who is the VP of Next Generation Efforts at Microsoft, he says that like the ray tracing performance will be beyond what's currently possible with the Xbox Series X and S.
Well, that's good
And-
because people
fucking
barely
hope
use
so.
it on the current console.
But also, they're delivering development kits next year, and he also said that like the days. I mean, this is the thing. He said that like the days of people defining themselves as console, PC, or mobile gamers don't really exist anymore. That's not a thing.
Well, I mean,
I don't
listen to the start of this pod.
Don't
I
believe
think
that.
it does.
I think
think it
plenty of
does.
people have just console or just a Switch or just that.
Well,
and
yeah, it's-
they
so
probably
you
still
never
have a
know,
It's
PlayStation
not
game.
not like a cultural thing. It's just an economic reality, isn't it? Not,
I don't
of
think
course,
that's
not
what they're
everyone can
saying, though,
own
is it?
fucking
No,
everything.
they're trying to because they're still trying to push this idea of Xbox Anywhere, but without having the marketing campaign that everyone hated. It's still this idea that people are not just wedded to one device; they can do this
Yeah,
across
you
everything.
think is your Xbox.
Yeah,
Well, no, not
Um,
anymore.
Yeah, they've pulled that. That's
Yeah,
all-
officially
that's all gone
cancelled,
now.
deleted.
Yeah, but there's the ethos is still there, mate. The ethos is still there. They
Stink of
still see some curtains and say Xbox.
But
That's
it's
what they're
interesting.
doing around those.
So I know it's a different story and it's not in the news, but like they didn't just like not mention it in future. They literally deleted blog posts around the whole "this is an Xbox."
They actually
Yeah.
scrubbed it from.
Like the only one that's
Wow.
kept is one that is like there's a game announcement that's like strictly linked to it, but the rest are all gone. Like the Xbox Wire posts have gone.
Do you
So
think
it's not
Sarah
just
Bond was
like-
on LinkedIn
Weird.
like, yeah, but look at all the good stuff I did while I was there, and then
Yeah, delete. Just get straight into CMS. Delete. Yeah, it's kind of. It's not just like they're not going to mention it in future. They're like, actually, it's gone. So
Do you reckon
Interesting.
that someone sat down and went, "But that's not an Xbox," and they go, "Oh fuck, it's not, is it? Shit,
Oh,
we
shit.
need to."
we've been telling everyone it
Hopefully
is.
hopefully no one will notice.
Get
I
done
wanna
for false
st- I wanna-
advertising.
So anyway, also Xbox mode is coming to Windows 11 from next month. That's going to be the next thing that they're adding to that. Presumably, this is the stuff that's like the ROG Ally X
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that's been in beta for a while on PCs and
God,
other non-PCs
Crucially,
on the
it's
Ally.
also a lot like Steam Big Picture mode, which has existed for like the last decade. But
Mhm.
there you go.
But then,
sorry to go back on site. We've already clearly moved on from, but I'm looking at those original posters, and you know this is an Xbox. This is and it's like a laptop, and this is an Xbox for your lap. It says, this is an Xbox that makes calls, and it's just a mobile phone. I forgot that they added in things like this is a cat box. And this is a bento
Oh,
box,
yeah.
like in amongst it. Oh god, it was one of the worst, wasn't it? It was one of the worst. That.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm glad they deleted it. Sorry, carry on, Joe.
so the other thing that he talked about was like their commitment to game preservation, and he also said we're committed to keeping games from 4 generations of Xbox playable for years to come. As part of our 25th anniversary later this year, we'll be rolling out new ways to play some of the most iconic games from our past. So there's, I mean, nobody, obviously, we don't know what's going on with backwards compatibility with this, you know, whether if you buy the new Project Helix thing, whether it'll actually play like Xbox, Series X
100%
and
it
S
will.
games.
Yeah, I mean,
There
isn't
is
that
an-
basically
there
what
is
they
an
just said?
emulator.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like they're just carrying on. I mean, obviously they're not adding. Well, I guess are they? Because they stopped the whole preservation thing. They stopped adding old Xbox and Xbox 360 games, didn't they? But then,
You see, I mean, you'd expect that they would, but like the ROG Ally X doesn't. Like, it doesn't play Xbox games, as in, like,
Yeah, but hold on. But of course it wouldn't. It's not. The hardware wouldn't be able to keep up with current Xbox Series games, right?
That would be a struggle if
Yeah.
it's going through an emulation layer. But then I suppose those more recent consoles are pretty much indistinguishable from modern PCs anyway, I think. Whereas older generations would tended to be quite different. But yeah, so they are adding official Xbox and Xbox 360 emulation. Yeah, that's the thing.
but yeah, playing our classic games in new ways. Like, what does
I don't know
that
what
mean?
that means.
when
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't
play
know
it
what
on
that
a
means.
PC, doesn't it?
Is it going to be
I
like
genuinely
Halo as an endless runner? I think.
Well, because my worry was that they were just going to go, oh well, you can just stream the other games from the other consoles, and from a preservation point of view, that's a fucking nightmare. So
Yeah, but
I'm
maybe
glad
what
that
you're
doesn't
saying.
appear to be. Sorry,
Yeah,
go on.
what if there's like an Xbox app to run old original Xbox 360 games on your PC? That makes sense to me. If they're trying
Yeah.
to branch out with that stuff, if they're getting like sort of if they're creating a system that brings Steam to the Xbox console, for example, then why not do the work to also bring an Xbox sort of way of playing that stuff like emulation on the PC? It makes sense if the architecture is going to be so close to PC anyway.
But they're not bringing
Yeah,
Steam
that
to
makes
the Xbox.
total sense. That makes total sense, doesn't it?
They're not bringing Steam to the Xbox, though. They're bringing Steam to a Windows Xbox. It's like it's different.
What do you mean?
Well, Project Helix is going to be a combination of like Xbox and PC. Like it's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be a
what I'm saying,
Windows
yeah.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. But
that is a new
what I'm
Xbox, though,
saying
isn't it?
is that they're right. Okay, what I'm saying is that they're bringing out this more Windows style Xbox, if you want to call it that. Their next console, if you want to call it that, when it's more of a PC. They're gonna, if they're committed to doing backwards compatibility, they've got to make sure that the emulation is running correctly on that style of computer, right? So if they've gone that far to do that for their home consoles, why not release that emulation software for all PCs?
Yeah, you
and then
definitely
you
think
could
they
sell
would. Yeah.
360 series games, all sorts. Like
Unless they
straight
go the
on
other
that.
route and it becomes all through cloud gaming instead. Like they just
I
say,
see. I don't think. I
we're
think,
off of this, but you can play all this stuff, but it's not through emulation. It's through cloud gaming.
That
instead.
Yeah, I
was
don't-
my
I don't
worry,
think they will.
but Yeah, I don't think that doesn't.
Yeah, I don't
but
know
that'd be
what
more a
physically
new
does.
way to play than simply, having it as an app, though, isn't it? They say new ways to play. It feels like playing old games
that might
via
just be
cloud stream
shit,
would be
though.
a new way to play.
That might
I
just
don't know
be
if it
bollocks.
would. I don't know if it would it? I mean,
Well,
we
still,
play,
emulation
you can play
has been
games
done.
on streaming. Yeah, but bringing Xbox full library to PC like via emulation is that is a new way to play, isn't it?
I guess so. It's just,
Am I
no,
just
you
completely
probably. I guess I'm
overthinking
reading
this,
more
or-
into it. It says classic games in new ways. I'm like, what does that really mean? That I guess maybe new ways could literally mean emulation and playing on PC, but I read more into that.
You can play it on
Expecting
your
more.
desk now. That's the new innovation.
So he also said that by converging Xbox and Windows gaming, Project Helix would offer developers a simpler, more unified path to reach more players and reduce development costs. My only question with this, right,
Yeah.
is if you release this machine for, say, let's just say $1,000, right? That it's like $1,000 and that's what the machine is. And it runs all these other stores, so it runs like Epic Games Store, it runs Steam, it's got like an Xbox store. If you're a developer, why would you make an Xbox version of a game when you can just release it on Steam and it'll also be available on this machine?
Agreed. Yeah, I think I think they're dropping the idea of becoming a shop front if they're going down this route, and more of a publisher.
But how do they make
That's
money?
Well, then that's because at
But
the end of the
by
day, everything's
selling-
sold through the Xbox store. They get the 30% on
Exactly.
it. Otherwise, they're handing that over to Valve.
sure, but I think they're going to be more focused on releasing their own games and making them, the games that they own, selling them everywhere, and
So then everything
if
else
they
third
if they're
party
doing
just
this if
goes-
they're doing this Xbox thing on PC, then you buy the first party games through that on their storefront on PC.
and then everything else people just go through Steam or
Well,
Epic
yeah,
Games,
because
whatever.
I do wonder at this point how, like, I know Xbox isn't dead and there's still millions of units out there, but you do wonder what the margins are like for the amount they're selling for third parties and what they could actually do if they completely open this up. It's interesting. It's also bleak because the idea you turning around and saying if they sell the next Xbox for £1,000 makes me go, I've got like, what the fuck? No,
I think they will though. I think there's no way it's going to be like we don't know this
such
obviously.
a huge jump from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Though their last consoles were released for £450, and we're saying 7-8 years later they're going to release their next one for £1,000.
But the thing is
that's
there's
mad.
Yeah,
there's
that
more
feels
likelihood though,
suicide.
that they'll have to do that though if they're not, because the whole thing of releasing a console for relatively cheap because you then make the money off the store and off the games you're selling. If they can't 100% guarantee that because people are just going to be buying stuff from Steam or whatever, it's going to have to cost more because otherwise they're just going to lose money presumably on it.
We did.
Yeah, I mean,
Could I do something controversial?
Please do.
Can I read out one of the questions now? Because it's about this stuff, and I think it's
Go on then.
interesting and relevant. This comes from
Never been
Robert.
done in the history of TCGS.
Never
No.
before.
All right.
The internet might shatter, but let's have a go. Robert Lang says, "Hey guys, great show this week as always. Intrigued about the next Xbox potentially playing PC games, but I think there's a massive storefront currency issue that we're going to see once Valve and Xbox eventually get these devices into consumer hands. We all know Nintendo and PlayStation are setting their future plans for exclusives. They've got that all tied up in their walled gardens. If Microsoft actually turns the next Xbox into a PC hybrid, they're walking straight into a trap with Valve. If this new Xbox allows PC games that ultimately run Steam, isn't it just a glorified Steam machine with a badge? Quite probably a more powerful one based on the development timeline. Steam is a better storefront than the current the current Xbox offering. So does that then become the de facto go-to for consumers on that platform? The real currency isn't the hardware anymore. It's our friends lists, achievements, and 20 years of Steam libraries. If Microsoft says play PC games but only via the Microsoft or Xbox storefront, it's dead on arrival. But if they allow Steam, they're just a hardware manufacturer for Gabe Newell's profit margins. What is Valve's reaction to this? Can they stop the machine from running Steam? Do they take a hit on their own Steam console in the understanding that they might see a massive increase in profits from console gamers who transition to using Steam through a branded console? Do they negotiate a specific deal with Xbox for games purchased via this new machine? We all know the Epic Games versus Apple battle in the fight for the storefront. Epic Games might be looking at this with glee. Maybe it's a way of pushing their storefront to a new demographic, the once Xbox faithful, now PC, not really a PC converts. I can see this getting a bit messy and Xbox failing, again, if they don't nail the storefront integration. You can't claim to be a PC console if you lock out the one store that everyone actually uses for PC gaming. What do you guys think?
Firstly, Sean, thanks for reading that out now, because imagine reading that out after 2 hours of podcasting, which isn't
what
a
I was
diss of the
thinking.
question. I think that's a really interesting question. I'm not having a diss of the person messaging. I just know what we're like at the end of the show. But yeah, I mean, you would imagine that Steam would just want their store anyway, and who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But then
And normally,
you're
they're
right.
normally pretty good about that stuff. Yeah, they like their thing has always been. Like I've said before, I don't think this is the case anymore, but it used to be. If you were publishing a game on Steam, they would just say how many keys do you want, and they wouldn't even charge you for them in some cases. And it was so the idea was, so say you were buying your PC games elsewhere, but you're still buying a Steam key. Valve were happy with that because it's like you're still making our ecosystem the one you want to be on, and that pays dividends over time. So yeah, I would assume Valve would be entirely happy with Steam being on the new Xbox,
But I think the introduction of the Steam box is an interesting one, because you're right. Like, if you're looking at two similar boxes, one has one can only run Steam via Linux, and the other one is a Windows machine that runs the whatever Xbox is running plus Steam. Why would you then buy the Steam box? But then you're also getting to the point where you're going, do they really give a shit how many of those things they're selling?
But you would
Well,
if
I think
it's
also-
cheaper as well, wouldn't you? If it's cheaper than the Xbox.
Yeah, oh
you
God, if
probably
it's
Yeah,
should.
cheap-
cheaper, and also just like closer and better integration with their Steam friends lists, and it'll be better because the hardware and software are made as one. So I can see why, if you're, yes, value wise, might as well buy the Xbox because then I can play anything I want, Epic plus Xbox console games plus Steam. But again, if the price is extra and it doesn't integrate as nicely as a Steam machine will do with the new Steam controller and the UI and friends list and all the things you've grown to love via Steam,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm like, well,
yeah,
I don't care, and I also don't give Xbox money, so I'm going to just stick with my Steam machine. Thank you very much. But
I agree with 99% of that, but I would not use the Steam controller as some sort of promotion for that box, because
the new one looks nice.
The old one looked nice. Apparently, it was fucking dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's.
But I'm sure they've learned a lot. The new one looks just more like a regular controller. But
I don't know. I just wouldn't put that forward as an argument to buy that machine over anything else, especially when we know that the Xbox pad is actually about as good as it gets, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, this is what Xboxes play. Like, will be the everything box, and hope that people think, well, okay, I'm actually having to think. Maybe I do buy this rather than a PC and a console, or PC and this. Like, I'll buy this, and it does everything I want. I don't want a PC for, spreadsheets or work. I just want it for gaming. This
But it's
Xbox
okay,
will do everything.
because if you buy that, you'll still get those spreadsheets as well. Because it'll definitely have
you
Office
can probably-
365 as well as installed on
So
it.
I assume this is what Xbox's play is going to be the everything machine. I think they will subsidize. I don't think it will be $1,000. I think that will be dead on arrival, but it would obviously be more than the 400 or 500 quid we've been used to paying up to now. Mostly not mostly, but obviously the ram's going to be a huge reason for that. But also, they said, they're shipping alpha versions of the dev kits in 2027. I mean, so we may not even get the console until 2028.
years off. Yeah.
I don't think they will subsidize this one. I think the whole point is that this is going to be a premium machine that they'll put out. Whether it's via a third-party partner or whatever, it will still be a premium machine. And the main focus here is not even so much. I mean, the console is a huge focus, but it's also trying to get Windows to be a gaming platform. That they can maybe not control, but that they have a.
They've been trying that on and off.
Exactly, they've been trying it for a very long time.
But it's such a high gate that you're putting around it if you're releasing a fucking if you're releasing a piece of hardware that's over fucking 500 quid just to play video games. It's I don't know, man. Like that for me, a threshold of over £500 just to play games, and I'm so addicted to games. Yeah,
But I think sadly, David, that will be the next generation. They will definitely be over 500. I just don't think they'll be as high as $1,000.
I don't know
but
if Nintendo ever will do that. I don't know if Nintendo ever will.
Well, how much did it switch to? I mean, I was surprised it was kind of the price it was.
400-ish.
400, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like 390 without Mario Kart, but
Yeah. So, but
390 quid.
But then I can see them. Well, they've already said they're looking at the RAM, etc. That may go up to 450. Yes, maybe Switches won't be as high as 500, or maybe Switch 3 will. But I can fully see the next PlayStation, Xbox being 600, 650.
No, because then for Nintendo, it's important that parents go, "Oh, I'll get that for my kid." And if you're releasing a £600 console, they're not going to go, "Oh, I'll just get that for my kid." That's not how it works.
Yeah, for Nintendo for sure. Like, try and keep it as low as possible. But even they may struggle to, it may go as high as 450 if the RAM issue continues, etc. But for PS6 and new Xbox, unfortunately, they won't be as cheap as they are now. They never will be again.
The other reason I feel that it's going to be expensive is because, they're already talking about how this is going to be an order of magnitude, like, more powerful than anything else. It's going to be like, cutting edge hardware and all that kind of thing. It's like the Steam Machine is not that, is it? Like, if you look at what the spec is, and that's already like probably around £600 or £700, right? It seems at the moment.
Because I think Valve look at it as like if you want something super powerful, you're already building a PC. There's no. I don't think Valve have any interest in making like a sort of console-esque product that is going toe to toe with an expensive PC. Because what's the point? As far as
they also see the hardware survey every year and know that the majority of people playing Steam are happy or are playing 1080p, 1440p, and they're like, well, we're going to build this. Obviously, I'm sure they said as cheap as possible for the vast majority of our users, and that's the 1080p, 1440p audience. Xbox, and to a lesser extent, I guess PlayStation trying to go for bleeding edge and ray tracing and path tracing and DLSS and FSR, etc. So that's just what they're going to do.
There's no way that Microsoft are not going to release a machine that they can't just say this is the most powerful thing that's ever existed.
No, and they've done that for the last 2 generations.
I don't know. But putting any weight into that order of magnitude increase, for starters, they don't say in power. That's something that VGC has said. The actual quote is just about an increase in use of fucking ray tracing, which Sony are already excelling in that on the normal PS5. So it's
so what you say?
I don't know how much I
that
put
they're not gonna release a console which is like they're not going to focus on power as being like something that it offers.
Are they going to focus on power?
The last 2 have done that, so for sure.
Yeah, the last 2 have been massively successful, haven't they?
But they've always said, we're the most powerful console, even though
it hasn't
actually led.
It hasn't worked.
Well, whether it hasn't worked, but because you can have a powerful console with the games on there, then it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not really about the power; it's about.
I think you could argue that the power of the console just wasn't the issue.
No, but I don't think it was. I don't think necessarily it helped it either. Saying that we're the most powerful console, because the games we're releasing wasn't showing that, and that will not change, because if their view is play Xbox games everywhere, then creating the most cutting edge video games that only run on like a 0.1% of hardware in existence is not the way to go about that approach, is it?
Was it the PS3 and 360 generation where, like, on average, PS3 games were looking and running worse?
Yes,
like
at the beginning,
multi-platform stuff. It was
at the beginning of the generation. Yes, because don't you remember there was all that stuff with trying to get like what was it? Was it Oblivion? Well, that never came out on PS3. I don't think there was one of those games where they were like you had to like put multiple copies of the game on the disc because of the problem that they had with like reading.
Oh, that's right.
Like the whole thing off it, and
also like repeating assets because the seek times were so long on the Blu-ray disc.
Yeah, and developers found like the cell.
The Xbox 360 used DVDs, didn't it?
Yeah. And developers found the cell processor like really difficult to to understand and how to work with it. But then eventually it seems that they caught up obviously because it just wasn't so developer friendly.
All right. To summarize this whole bit, where the industry's going now, for me, is actually quite sad, but also really fascinating because we really are treading into the unknown.
Yeah.
At the moment, things are they're never gonna be what they used to be. And that is fascinating and also very scary as a big fan of video games, I think.
So I thought what they were going to do is, we can play PC games, you can play Xbox games, whatever on console. I thought they were basically say, just make your PC games as normal, low, medium, high spec, but then there's an Xbox spec. And if you do that, that will run incredibly on the new console, but your existing games will also run on Steam. I thought they were going to make it easier, but then obviously they're going to have custom custom chips like SoC. So that isn't something that maybe everyone's going to want to work towards, because then you are truly just targeting the Xbox console. So I don't know. I thought they were going to make it as easy as possible by just saying, here's a new spec. If you work to that, it'll work for us. But it feels like it might be more.
Meanwhile, Xbox are also going to be releasing all their games on everything anyway. Not just their own hardware. So it's very confusing, this whole thing. That's why, you're right, David. It's really interesting to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, but it feels like we're basically, I guess, 2 years actually. It's 2026. So I reckon this will be an early 28 thing. Because if the alpha's in 27, I mean, that could, I don't know, 6 months, 12 months. I don't know how long these development things cost. I can't see that coming out in the same year as the alpha for hardware. That feels too soon, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably 2 years away now. But.
Okay, shall I move on to the next story? So the next story is also Xbox related. This is an indie studio called Speculative Agency, and what they've done is they're making a narrative courtroom deck builder about ordinary people who take on the powerful for destroying our future. This is what it says. It's called All Will Rise. And they've returned funding given by Xbox and Microsoft because they've joined the No Games for Genocide boycott. Now, I've got 2 quotes here, which are quite long, but I think they're worth reading because it outlines their whole thinking with this. So they said, "This was not an easy decision. We are, like so many other indies, eager and hungry for funding opportunities. We had received some funding from Microsoft as part of a developer acceleration program deal, which we signed in 2025. So we would have to ask Microsoft to let us break our contract and somehow make up the shortfall of funds at a time where funding is extremely difficult to come by in the industry. Also, we would be giving up the opportunity to reach the large audience of players on Xbox, increasing our financial risk and decreasing our potential player pool. We also debated whether this boycott made political sense for us. Our game is also about ecocide and corporate greed. Should we refuse to participate in corporate platforms that are currently destroying the planet? How do we strike the balance between our themes, integrity, consistency, and frankly our interest in making a commercial indie game? But eventually the urgency of No Games for Genocide and its value as a growing movement that has the potential to pressure Microsoft to cease its complicity with Israeli genocide won out." So they spoke to Eurogamer, and Megan Janeth, who's the narrative director, said that Microsoft have agreed to break the contract, but they're still working out the details. And Eurogamer also have said that this has also put more pressure on the game's Kickstarter because obviously they need money. They still need this. And I've got one final quote from her. It says, "If you're part of an indie team and are horrified by Israel's genocide in Gaza and the ways in which many of our governments and corporations are complicit in it, have a conversation about pledging to No Games for Genocide. Yes, it's a difficult decision to make. Yes, it involves sacrificing a potential player base on Xbox. It may involve refusing Microsoft funding. The thing is, we are not powerless. Every action matters, and our actions matter immensely when we come together. There is a real opportunity for us to take a stand and pressure Microsoft to end its complicity. We can win. Corporations like Microsoft might seem impossibly huge and impossible to move, but they're not. They're made up of people, and they rely on our labour and creativity and goodwill to continue to operate. We're calling on everyone, but especially fellow indies, to join game studios like us and also individual gamers and devs, tech workers and even workers inside Microsoft who disagree with leadership decisions and just need more leverage to push for change. We are all feeling outraged and hopeless and disgusted and powerless, but we're not. We have power together." And so I thought this is an interesting story.
Yeah, good on them. I think it does, off the back of everything we've been saying and the way Xbox is at the moment, there are fewer games on fewer indie games on Xbox than there are.
Yeah, you notice that a lot, didn't you? You say on Switch, PC, and PlayStation.
Yeah,
you see a lot of that.
So right, and if you already had like a moral or political problem with working with Xbox to begin with, that makes the decision even easier, right? It's like, well, it's literally scarcely even worth it anyway. Because I take the point. They do address it. Like especially if your game has a message that you want to get out there, like you're reaching fewer people. But then in putting the game on Xbox, you're complicit in the things you're criticizing, right? So I understand there's a dilemma there. But yeah, no, I think fair play to them for taking a stand. I think it's really admirable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be definitely a personal kind of costs and risk to the game and the studio. But yeah, it's admirable, as you say, that they're doing this, and hopefully someone comes up and helps support them with funding from elsewhere.
Okay. Next story is about Fortnite. I included this because of Sean, because I know you like Fortnite.
I'm such a big fan.
Yeah.
It does.
So they're raising V-Buck prices later this month, and they put out a press statement saying this was to help pay the bills, because they.
I mean, that is fucking tone deaf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, as the Eurogame article says, it's after they generated over $6 billion like last year. But yeah, so the values for each of the packs have been changed. So, I mean, these are all in American dollars, so it doesn't really help us so much. But like 800, so $8.99 gets you 800 V-Bucks, whereas before you got 1,000, and then this is basically replicated across all of the values.
Right. So the amount
cost hasn't
you
gone
pay
up.
for each tier are the same, but the amount you get for them is
You get less for your money. But then also they said the battle passes are getting a price drop in inverted commas, but not really, because the price of V-Bucks are going up. So it means that it brings them down to 800 V-Bucks versus 1,000 before. So you're basically paying the same
You're
amount
still
of
paying
money.
the same.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that what's the most frustrating about this, when you are so openly not when you so openly don't have to do this, when you are earning this much money and you're still putting the prices up, or giving you less for what you're paying. It's like, fuck off. Honestly, just fuck off.
Like,
Like,
everyone's doing it. Like,
Matt,
like
that
Netflix.
doesn't. No, Matt, that doesn't.
No,
that doesn't
I'm
excuse
not
it.
defending. I'm just saying, like, that they're given like a reason, admittedly, like a weird one. But like, everything's
Sorry,
going
who are
up.
giving the reason? What?
We're epic about paying the bills.
What's the reason?
Well, no, I mean, their reason they gave was that it's to help pay the bills, whereas like
Yeah,
Netflix
that's like
goes
a
up
massive
because
fuck you.
Yeah, I know.
To people that
yeah.
genuinely need to pay the bills at home, that are going to be that when it comes to their kids, like asking for V-Bucks and all that sort of stuff. The cost of living for people around the world is going up, and it's getting harder to live. And they're going, yeah, we need to make the bills too. What's that? We made $6 billion last year. Don't worry about that. Give us more fucking money. Fuck off. That is like it is. They so do not need to do this, and to use that phrasing, to me, I just find fucking shitty. It's like it's just like, I don't know if they were trying to be funny or if they were trying. I don't know what.
I think the copywriter has come up with that line thinking it just sounds a bit quirky, and no one's thought actually that's really fucking tone deaf.
Yeah, because that's what everyone else is using to get through life.
Yeah. I think what also is mad is that they're doing this during what is broadly a pretty unpopular and overlong season. We've stopped playing ages ago, more or less. Like, it's just fucking.
What, spring?
You're not aware of this?
No, but it did not. It did not cross my mind that part of the problem, part of your complaint would not be the moral issues, but the fact that this season's of Fortnite hasn't been up to standard.
Do you know what I mean? If this had
At least doing a
coincided
good one.
with the launch of a new season, they would ride the excitement and maybe sort of smother this, where it's like,
Should have
guys,
done it with
done
The
this.
Simpsons, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've done it at a time where there's fuck all else going on other than people moaning that it's a bit boring at the moment. They did a fucking. Isaac was buzzing because he's like,
They did a fucking.
Was it?
They did a fucking.
They did fucking, yeah. Yeah, Isaac was buzzing because on Saturday he's like, oh, it says there's going to be like a story event. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Oh yeah, we had that.
Did you take part?
No. I did. Yeah, I did not.
What is this season?
Charlie was in bits because he wanted to watch it, but it was way past his bedtime, so he said no.
Well, this was because Isaac was arguing. We were like, all right, you can stay up and do it. It was fucking wank. It was literally like. So apparently they've made a distinction. Like, this isn't. This was never going to be like a big season finale event. This was a story event or whatever they call it. But it was literally. Do you know where Lethal Labs is, Dave, in the current map?
Nope.
And there's the big spaceship is above it, And
Right.
basically, so we joined the game, and it was like, right, starting in like 2 minutes, let's join a game. And it was doing the thing where like no one can shoot each other because there's a story event happening. We're like, oh my god, let's like, we're pretty sure something's happening at Lethal Labs. We'll all go there. The big orb fired a laser, and then we could shoot each other, and we were like, oh, is this a bug? Was something supposed to happen and it didn't happen? No, that was it. The thing shooting the laser was it. And
Oh.
then right now carry on killing each other.
Oh, cool. That good then.
So-
I'm glad I didn't make him sit
Yeah.
up and watch that because it would have ruined our Sunday.
Yeah. It's really bad. So I'm just saying. So if that's the sort, the caliber of event they're putting on, whilst also putting the prices up, it's like, come on, guys.
Well, don't worry, because you can still get 20% cash back if you buy it all through the Epic Games Store.
That's right. Yeah, they love doing that.
Yeah.
It's like free money.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like free money.
It's free real estate.
Yep.
Okay, next story. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is coming out on the 21st of May.
And nobody knows about it.
Yeah, did you?
Weird,
Has
isn't it?
anybody watched the trailer for this?
Yes.
Not the
I
new
have
one.
Actually.
We saw the previous one, didn't we? At a previous
I-
direct.
Watched the
watched a
trailer
bit
for
of it.
this.
I think I'm out.
I know. You see, that's the thing, because I usually like Yoshi games, but I watched
Yeah.
this and I was like, this doesn't look interesting at all. It's
Doesn't.
And to be clear, like, it's for children, and that is fine, obviously. But yeah, as you say, like, usually the appeal of Yoshi stuff is actually pretty broad, whereas this feels really sort of laser focused on much younger players. When,
Yeah.
as we've just discussed, the hardware costs close to 400 quid.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I don't think Isaac's bothered either. He's not said anything about it.
Charlie is.
Oh, is he? Is
He
into
wants.
it?
Yeah, he wants it. He wants
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
But
I
like I quite like the animation style. It looks good. But you're right. It looks. I mean, look, but all Yoshi games. I mean, this is probably one of the first couple of levels. All of them start out like this, and they do get more interesting later on.
True. Plus, the trailer is like really sort of painstakingly explaining the mechanics and what's going on. Maybe when
Yes,
you're playing it
it's one
yourself,
of those
you like
ones.
racing through it, and you play it at
And
your
you're
own
just
pace,
having
and
fun,
maybe it's
yeah.
really interesting. And yeah,
I wonder how strict they're going to be with the naming of these creatures, because I can just see quite a lot
Right,
of
we'll explain it
screenshots.
first. So they've got these creatures in this world, and they're like frogs with hollow heads, right? Like there's just, instead of a mouth, it's just a big like circle. What? Sorry, James. What do you mean? I want you
Well-
to go into why you think.
Yeah, please
Well,
do.
So
With
what
diagrams.
happens? So you come across these in the game, and then you have steady, and then you have to like log them in your
Grow
book.
up.
But when you log them in the book, you can choose to either use like a made up name or whatever, or you can make
That's
your
right,
name
yeah.
up yourself. And I'm just thinking, then there's like a big screenshot of what it is, and then the name on it. And I'm just wondering how many people are going to be writing in names.
Call them
that are-
cunt.
Yeah, or like
And
knob
just,
trees
it's just like, and
stuff
then the
that.
things just keep
Right
going. You cannot call this character cunt.
Yeah.
Please do not call this creature cunt. Please call it something else.
Yeah,
Just
a little bit like
anything
that.
but cunt. Stop calling it cunt.
Man,
That's
Carl's
what I'm
got a field
saying,
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl's on overtime this week.
Yeah, I will be interested to see what the reviews are like. I don't know. I thought, and in terms of the animation, I thought it was way more interesting than the last one. What was the last one? It was the papercraft one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yoshi's
which was
Crafted
alright.
World, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that
That was
one.
right, yeah.
I did not get into that at all. But I was a big fan of Woolly's World, so yeah, hopefully let's see. I don't know. I quite like the animation in this one. That's all I took away from this. But you're right, Sean. It does look like it's aimed at much lower, much younger people than. I mean, let's face it. A man who's 30 shouldn't have been playing Woolly World. So the man who's 40 is playing this isn't that wild. But I'm interested to see how it pans out, I guess.
Okay, final story is I mean, Resident Evil Requiem is getting a story expansion and also a new mini game and a photo mode. Although it might be a while until it comes because director Koshi Nakanishi has said, he says, we're hard at work on it now. However, before you get too carried away, we may have to wait a little while before it arrives. It will take some time, so we ask for your patience. But the mini games are probably going to come sooner. But I mean, a lot of people are quite excited about this because there was a lot left at the end of that game that they could have gone off in all sorts of directions and stuff. So it could be. Hopefully, it'll be good. I mean, will you play it, Matt, when it comes out?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I didn't play any DLC for Village. I also didn't play 7 either. But I want to play more Requiem. So for sure, yeah. It says in the minigame scheduled for around May. God knows what that's going to be. But yeah, but I love more Requiem. So I'll be all over that when it comes out. I know the ones for 7 were highly regarded, but I don't actually remember hearing much about the Village DLC at all. Did you play any of it?
No, I didn't play the DLC. No. But maybe I'll play this though, because Requiem was great, and also I think now the fastest selling Resident Evil.
Yeah, I think 6 million, isn't it?
Yeah,
they said today.
wow.
So it's smashed it in terms of sales.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
excited.
it. That's the end of the news. There's nothing else.
That's it. Well, then let's get on to. Oh no, well, we do need to. I didn't notice that someone slipped there. And thanks for reminding me. I did want to point out to everyone that last week we asked. I can't remember why, but we asked people to create James Farley drum and bass songs. I called them songs. I realised, and even now I think, what an idiot. Tracks, right? Not so. You don't create drum and bass songs. Yeah, little
What
ditties.
singer made that drum and bass song?
Grandad.
So do you want to play the ones that we got? Sure.
Yeah, so we got 3. I don't know what order you want to go in. I feel like we should end with Chris's because it's the most upsetting to listen to.
Let's go.
But in a good way.
Who's the
We'll go with-
first one from?
We got one with we got one from Rooski Doo from the Discord, and then we got one from Cami, and then one from friend of the show, Chris Span. We'll go with Rooski Doo first.
Let's listen to a
Enjoy.
bit of
Cammy
James
in the mod.
Farley music. Oh, that's good.
Well, we should work on TCGS Visualizer, shouldn't we? Like Winamp.
Forget it.
Oh, this is fucking great. I've not heard this one.
I need these on my running playlist. This will really get me going. That'd be great. Hear that
Oh,
song in your
that's what
ears.
it was. The running playlist. That's where it comes.
I shouldn't have backed this, but it was really irritating. I shouldn't have backed this. I shouldn't have backed this. I shouldn't have backed.
You shouldn't have what?
Bang with that.
Bang of death. Oh, yes.
Come on.
No. This is incredible work.
I command you.
Sorry, James. Just a bit of music.
That is absolutely superb.
so good.
That's
was great.
absolutely superb.
That was from
It's
Rooski
holy
Doo. Thank you very
shit.
much. You're right, James.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm all right.
We've got another 2 of these. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
good.
You've
very
heard the
good.
others, to be fair. So maybe the impact will be.
I've
less
not
than-
heard that one. That is absolutely fucking. That might be my favourite. Right, go on.
Okay, right. This is the one that I should say. These are all about 2 minutes long. If you sort of checking your watch. Because-
Imagine this is the bit you skip. I mean, not the fucking half an hour's worth of Xbox chat earlier.
Because I know some people are a bit weird when we do anything that isn't just us talking. They're a bit like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" So, just yeah, right. Okay, this is Cammy's one.
I mean, if anyone wants to create a James Farley drum and bass song, please send them in. We will play them.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's marginal. Just continue. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
That's very good.
Marginal. Just continue. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's marginal. Just continue. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's marginal.
continue. What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for, Dave? What are you doing that for? Oh, what are you doing that for, Dave? Dave, what are you doing that for? What are you doing that for, Dave? It's alright. It's alright.
I love that bit. That bit is so good.
It's alright. It's alright. It's marginal.
Superb.
Yeah.
Well done,
I
Cammy.
like
Incredible
that's
work,
actually a
Cammy.
riff
I like
on
that.
the theme as well.
Yeah, you can tell that's brilliant.
Yeah. Right, you ready for friend of the show, Chris Bands?
I mean, I'm ready for all. I mean, I could listen to them all again. Go on.
Here we go.
Okay. Let's get this going.
Fucking hell.
I've got a rhythm.
Not like that. Alive.
Dear me.
Thank you for sending those in. They are
Yeah.
incredible.
Ben says there's another one in the Discord, but I'm not going to have time to download it and sort it out and put it on the soundboard, I'm afraid. Maybe next week.
No, that might have to be one for next week. I don't know if I could take much more of that. That was incredible.
No.
Thank you to everyone that made those and sent those in. They've genuinely made my week.
Yeah, absolutely sensational.
Cool. All right. Should we get to what you've been playing?
Yeah.
Probably should.
Good. Let's start with Sean Bell this week because he's actually
I-
played some new stuff.
I played a few. I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. I don't know why it's called that. I wasn't bothered about this because I played the first Monster Hunter Stories, obviously a big Monster Hunter fan, so I played the first Monster Hunter Stories and felt very... So it's essentially like a JRPG take on Monster Hunter where... You know, crucially, the hunters are friends with the monsters, or monsties, as they call them.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they're called monsters in this.
So, you know, you have monsters that are your mates, and then they join you in battle, and you ride around on them on the world map and stuff. I didn't really get on with the first one. It felt very much aimed at younger players, which is fine. I gather the second one was all right, but as I say, just wasn't that fussed. And I was going to skip this one, but then the reviews came out and it was getting 8s and 9s all over the place. And oh, this is actually just a really great JRPG. I've only put a couple of hours into it so far. However, early signs are good. Really quite impressed with it. It doesn't feel like a sort of sideshow anymore. It's like, oh no, if Monster Hunter didn't previously exist and they just put this out, this would still be really impressive and doesn't in any way rely on like, hey, do you remember this monster? It's from the game you liked, so maybe you like this one. It's kind of like the setting is sort of completely, well, more or less completely divorced from, anything previous. So you don't have to have played any Monster Hunter beforehand. Certainly, you don't have to have played any of the Monster Hunter Stories games. I think the main thing that's really impressed me about it, I mean, it looks gorgeous for one thing. It looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's very Genshin Impact, and weirdly, those games that look like that seem to be like 10 a penny now, but it does look really nice. The story's actually kind of interesting. There's like tensions between these two nations, and you're the prince, and so basically you're living with the king of this one nation, and your mom, who used to be the queen, is from this other nation that you're now potentially going to be at war with. And infamously, she disappeared at one point, and she's known as this like big traitor. The story actually gets kind of interesting. Obviously, I won't spoil any more than that. And the combat is like, I mean, James, you'll know JRPGs. You tend to do a lot of just fighting with these sort of rank and file enemies, and there's usually not a huge amount to get your head around. And then every 5 hours there will be a boss where it's like, right, shit, I should really think about this now and work out what its weaknesses are, what its its attack patterns, and how to best sort of combat it. That's like pretty much half the fights you do are like, oh no, I have to really think about this now. Like there are smaller monsters that you can quite easily deal with, and once you're a certain number of levels above them, if you see these monsters on the world map and you run into them, it's like, yeah, you can just press a button and well done, you did the fight and you move on.
That's like that's been in quite a lot of RPGs for like a while now, and it's something that I think is great. It's like
it's pretty crucial at this point, isn't it?
Because like the more recent Yakuza games have done that as well, where it's just like, you don't even have to bother, because what's the point? At this stage, just give us a bit of XP.
Because if ultimately the fight would boil down to you just pressing the attack button 10 times until who's getting anything out of that? But yeah, like all the big monsters are really interesting to fight, and you've got to learn what their attacks are and how you can best, like, you can target different body parts with your different attacks, and then certain weapon types are more effective against certain body types, and there's different rewards for breaking certain body types. Body part types. And then there's this whole other twist where it's like, oh, there's some of the monsters have got this new crystal shit all over them, and that gives them extra abilities, but then also it's another way to weaken them if you break the crystals off first. And so as I say, early days, but I've just been like really surprised by how challenging it has been. It still feels aimed at younger players, like story wise, but then I also can't see younger players getting on with the combat. So I don't know.
Is there not difficulty settings?
Do you know, I haven't checked. I've just gone with whatever the default is. So not sure, maybe.
This is the thing I was going to ask you about, because it's like, I mean, it's called Monster Hunter Stories, but is it like, does it have a stronger narrative flow then?
It definitely does, because I mean, the story in the main Monster Hunter games is basically non-existent. Like, oh, there's bad stuff happening, and guess what the solution is? We've got to kill all the animals. Whereas this is like ostensibly like, no, we're kind of friends with some of them, and we're like, the sort of little group you're in, you're not like hunters, you're rangers, right? So you're actually just managing the population of animals. It's a bit weird, like they do this thing. So you have like, you have your sort of main monstie, I'm doing the air quotes, monstie, but then you have like others that you sort of bring with you. So then, so the situation where you need to climb a wall, you'll like equip a different one and then go up it, and then you switch to a different one or whatever. Or if you need to glide, you can equip a gliding one or swim or whatever.
It's like Pokemon Legends.
It is a little bit, yeah. It is a little bit Pokemon-esque. But the way you get new monsties is, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm going to stop apologizing. I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm going to own it. I'm bringing it back. You sort of find these little dungeons where basically you nick the eggs of a monster, and then you bring it back to your, home base or whatever. And they show that there's like this ritual that they do where it's like, oh, I bind my heart to yours, and we're going to be friends forever. And then it's like, oh, and here's the stable where you can get rid of any monsters that you don't want anymore.
Wow,
cool.
Throw them guys in the bin.
Yeah, glad we bonded our souls for eternity. Now get out.
They're like a fast food restaurant right next to it as well.
Go on.
Well, as if they all...
I see,
eating them.
Yeah. Sorry, a bit slow.
Yeah. Just being quiet.
So yeah, as I say, only a few hours in, but yeah, really promising. Looking forward to playing more of that. What else have I played? I played the Raccoin demo on stream last week.
I watched a bit of your stream and I'm like,
you're in so much trouble, Dave.
Yeah,
it's going to be bad. Well, I mean, you might be all right, because I think it's only slated for a Steam release at the moment.
Good. Yeah, it is like there's no. Yeah, apparently there's no console release. Yeah, which annoys me, but also probably.
Oh, it will come to consoles. I'll be blown away if it didn't.
I think this is going to be big. So for those who aren't aware, this is the. I don't want to say like, oh, it's like it's a bit like Balatro, but it's another what if thing you're already familiar with had roguelike elements. In this case, a coin pusher machine.
You think most of us are familiar with it, but we recently found out that James has no idea how coin pushers work.
I'd say I've walked past them many times, but I've never really engaged with them ever. So
There's too many
Crazy.
commoners around them, aren't there? You're straight to the roulette table.
Like,
aren't
if
you?
you want
feels
more
like-
money,
that feels
just
like
ask mother and
blackjack,
father for the coins.
Coin machines feel like 8% of my childhood growing up. It's like, well,
When I was growing up, my dad would just push notes at me. There was no need for a coin machine to
Yeah.
do that. He genuinely asked listeners who don't listen to our bonus show, so does it start moving when you put money into it? What?
you never been to the seaside when you were younger? You saw them.
very rarely. We didn't go to the seaside that much. Yeah.
Oh, we are so different.
Oh.
Matt's
Sad.
personally upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on the seas.
Kind of made
Them,
me
the
feel
coin
sad.
machines were my family. Like that's how much I saw them.
See, but that also it makes you think like you didn't live far from the coast either in the Kent area.
No,
So
not that
it's
far,
like-
but Sierra never did. It's, you know,
Okay.
Oh man.
Dad said we
Alright.
shouldn't lower ourselves.
Yeah.
That's where the commoners go. Yeah.
So, Raccoin. Yeah, so it's one of them coin push machines. You got a shelf going back and forth. There's coins everywhere. You can chuck extra coins in. You're limited in how many coins you can put in. As you chuck coins in, obviously they start shoving towards the front. They fall off the front, and then you get. So weirdly, you don't get coins. You get tickets for making the coins fall off, and then
Right.
those tickets you can use to either buy more coins, although that's limited how many times you can do that per round. Or if you save them up at the end of each round, when you scored a certain number of points, you can end the round, and then you go to a shop where you can buy different things that are going to affect your run. So you've got like single-use items. You've then got sort of add-ons that will fundamentally change how some stuff works, and you've also got special coins that have like certain effects. The naming of the special coins is rubbish. Like
really?
They just So there's a coin that is like a thief. Do you want to know what that's called?
The thief coin.
It's called a thiefoin. And then
What
there's
are
a
the
coin.
They're not going for a pun.
There's a coin that has like water on it and it spreads electricity. That's called a wateroin.
Okay.
Rubbish. But whatever.
I mean,
84 in the chat is saying I've got to mention the James coin. It's not actually called that. There's a coin that generates a whirlwind, and we were having a big old laugh in the stream about how it's like James farting. However, that does bring me on to
the fuck?
does bring me on to an important point. Why I like this so much, because there's like different characters you can play as.
for ages. I don't know.
that we
sorry,
know
you've
of.
not farted for ages.
Liar.
You're all a bunch of cunts.
Sorry, Carl.
You're not allowed to say that because you've got no involvement, and that's what pisses me off.
What's cool about this is you can play like the numbers game, right? There are these these add-ons you can get and these special coins you can get that if played in a certain way, you can make the numbers go up and you can increase the value of the coins as they drop. You get more tickets, more points. You get through to the next round easier. So you can play it like Balatro or similar. But what I love about it is that the physicality of the coins is also really important.
Yeah,
So
like
when
it
you-
looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's so the fact that on the stream, I had a couple of these like typhoon ones. So they were creating these little whirlwinds. So yeah, you chuck one of these special coins out, and then it creates a little whirlwind. So it gathers up loads of coins in the air, but then they hover above that one coin. So it kind of makes them harder to shove towards the front. But also when you do, it's going to be a big fucking load of coins in one go. So you get a big multiplier, big score increase, stuff like that. There's coins that explode, and when they do, obviously they send everything flying. That's usually a good time. Stuff like that. And that's why I find it really interesting. And if you watch the stream, you'll see like I'm basically trying to explain what I'm doing, but I just sound like I fucking lost it completely. I'm like, yeah, because if I do this, then do that, then that means this, and then and it just sounds like absolute gibberish. And then I'd chuck 5 coins out and then win the round, and I'm like, see, this is why it's so good. Like,
I didn't
So,
realize the
yeah,
release date had been confirmed as well. So it's out on the 31st of March, so not far at all.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
yeah, very excited about that.
And you think there's depth to it, like a Balatro, like a
Yeah, 100%. Because like I've been playing it and enjoying it and learning about it and slowly doing better and better and better. And then Shields like posted in the Discord. So you download the demo, and then about an hour later, it was like, "Hey, I've done my first run." I was like, "Fucking hell! All right, okay. Clearly, there's more for me to learn here." So yeah, good game. Looking forward to that coming out.
Yeah, that looks fucking great. It's going to
Yeah, man.
destroy me when that comes out on Switch. That'll be the one, I think. Yeah.
Is that launching in early access or has it been in early access?
I
think
don't
it's
know.
been in
I don't
early
think it's
access for a
been in
while.
early access, but I don't know if it's launching.
Because that demo is, I had a limited demo. Oh no, I had like an alpha test and now the demo. But
Yeah.
okay, it's just going to launch it as
There's
is.
a lot to do just in the demo, to be honest.
Mm.
There's a fair bit to unlock and stuff, which is cool. I don't know if that carries over though. I assume not. Last game I want to talk about is Esoteric Ebb, which is I think is a bad name. I'll just say it because it doesn't in any way describe or give you any sense of what the game is about. But hey ho, this like there's no other way to say it. This is like it's a Disco Elysium like, right? In
Okay.
that it's an RPG, but it's very story focused and it's very. I mean, and I say it's Disco Elysium. Like, there's a lot of Citizen Sleeper here as well, right? It's very clearly heavily influenced by tabletop role playing, but it's its own original world. A couple of people in the chat saying they've heard it described as Discworld Elysium. That's very clever.
Oh,
I like
yeah,
that.
this looks nice.
And yeah, it is a fantasy setting, but if you are usually put off by that, I wouldn't be in this case, because it is genuinely very funny for one thing, and it doesn't take the setting too seriously, I think. Is it? Sorry, Phil on the chat says it's D&D. Is it actually D? Because it's clearly borrowing elements from D&D. But
It's inspired by the freedom of tabletop adventures, according to the Steam page. But
yeah, because it definitely like. There's whole things in it about like alignment, right? So the alignment system in Dungeons and Dragons, you chaotic evil, lawful good, blah blah blah. That's like nicked wholesale. And you might look at it and be like, oh well, it's nicking stuff from D&D. It looks and plays like Disco Elysium. Like it's got the whole thing of your stats are these voices in your head, right? And you're having these sort of inner sort of these conversations with yourself when you're making decisions and stuff like that. But that stuff is so brazen that it's, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, they've just nicked that from Disco Elysium. It's like, well, who cares? It's clearly just someone else's take on a similar thing. And I think it does enough of its own stuff, and it has its own tone, that's enough for me, right?
I mean, the first line on the Steam page is Esoteric Ebb is an isometric disco-like TTRPG turned CRPG set in a bizarre post-arcane punk fantasy setting. So
there you go.
they're not shying away from it.
Said that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it's so obvious that it's like, well, so when people like point out, oh, wrestling's fake, don't you? It's like, yeah, we know. Get over it.
Yeah, but we're having fun with it.
So yeah, it's the setup is really interesting. You start the game, you've just died and come back to life, which again felt like a sort of Planescape Torment nod as well. Sorry, Phil Walls just said exactly that because everyone in the chat stopped being correct and saying things that
It's distracting.
And it's not entirely clear, what happened to you or whatever. But you're here to investigate. A tea shop has been blown up, and you're trying to find out what's going on. Also, there is an election coming up, and the main character. So you play as this guy who's a cleric, right? Who are sort of like, religious sort of law enforcement in the city, and yeah, you've been sent to investigate this crime, and it's not like you don't have amnesia, but your guy's just an idiot. It's hilarious. Like he just he just says the stupidest shit, or you have the option to say the stupidest shit, and you will often take it because it's funny. Like I met this like orc woman, right? And I was chatting to her, and then one of the dialogue options appears, which just says like, "You are a very strong and capable looking woman." Brackets attempt to flirt, right? It's just shit like that. He just says on the reg, and I fumbled
What's wrong
the
with that? That
charisma
sounds
roll.
okay. Is that not okay?
That's it's not
that's
okay.
bad, is it?
It's just not going to work. No, she
Oh, is it
actually
not?
finds it
Okay.
initially quite charming, and then I fumbled a charisma roll. And my options were like, get down on your knees and say please or cry. So it's good stuff. But also, like, so as it nicks the whole alignment thing from D&D. But I met this like halfling guy who's, as you chat to him, you're like, oh, he's like pioneering like psychotherapy in like, but in this sort of weird fantasy setting, right? He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and your character's like, oh, what? Talk about my feelings? No, thanks. And he's like, no, we think it might be really important, and yeah, you have this. I spent like 20 minutes having this chat with him about the nature of like D&D style, like moral alignment and how that would work in real life. Like if you were to be like, oh no, this is literally this is how things work. And it was just really fucking interesting. And yeah, it's got this thing that there's this election coming up, and there's these different political parties, and you can sort of ally, yourself with one of them through conversations, and it's just this. Whoever you're talking to, pretty much every single time, one of the dialogue options will just be, "So who are you voting for then?" And most people are like, "Fuck you asking me that for?"
Well, I mean, that is quite reflective of what's going on out there, isn't it,
yeah,
guys?
yeah, it's just been an absolute joy. Like I say, quite funny, quite interesting. I'm really intrigued to see where the sort of central mystery goes. I did one fight with a zombie, and your options are like, hit him, or like, guard because you think he's about to hit you. It's the same as like Disco Elysium, right? So when you get into a fight, it's still just done through essentially like the dialogue system. But then one of the options just like hold up your fist and point at it and say, "Look at this," and then try and trip him up. So I did that obviously, and it worked a treat.
Nice.
The music's fantastic. A lot of as you're sort of going around the city, there's a lot of sort of ambient, sort of folk, sort of chamber music style stuff. But then at key moments, it just kicks into like sort of really sort of proggy post rock stuff, and it's fucking great. It's really really good. There's when you're making your character, it gets it's got examples of like, so it's like, okay, your strength stat. It's like, here's what strength is for. It's obviously how physically strong you are, how much you relate to. It tends to give you like a very individualistic mindset, not so much community minded and stuff. And then it's like, oh, people with high strength stats are like this, and then people with low strength stats are like this. And it's like people with low strength stats. Point number 1: cannot handle the banter. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And my character had low intelligence, and as I started the game, it had this text, and it's like, you're this character, you've been hired to, investigate this tea shop thing. And it says, and if you're struggling with the law and stuff, don't forget you do only have 8 intelligence. I was like, that's funny. I already want to know what it says for the other, particularly low or high stats.
Yeah.
Just full of little touches like that. When you load the game back up after, when you've saved and quit, and then you load it back up, when you go to the continue thing, there's a little like handwritten summary of what you did in your last session. And I don't quite know how it does it. Like they must have just written so many paragraphs for like different sort of choices and eventualities and stuff. Like, yeah, really.
I love a recap in a game. That's good
super
stuff.
Useful.
So you're gonna stick with this, are you?
100%.
Yeah.
Really, really, really enjoy it.
I love that you like it's so colourful. Like, just looking at the screenshots on
really,
Steam,
really,
like the
really
menus and the artwork's gorgeous.
Comic book style, art style. Yeah. The one thing I wouldn't even say I don't like about it. It's just a bit of a weird immersion breaker. And to be fair, Disco Elysium was kind of like, this is clearly trying to address a problem that Disco Elysium had, where with Disco Elysium sometimes there would be a situation that involved a dice roll that you just had to get through no matter what.
Yeah, I hate
and the devs would be like, "Hey man, just roll with the punches. Sometimes the failures are more interesting." I said sometimes they weren't. They were just blockers, and it'd be like, "Come back tomorrow when you can re-roll it," and it was kind of annoying. The way they've sort of tried to fix that, so there'll be like situations where it's like a life and death situation. So, for example, very early example, you fall into a trap, right? And you're like hanging by your leg and caught in this trap. And so you go like, all right, well, I'm going to try and get out of it. My strength stat is really bad. So I failed the first roll. And it's like, it really hurts. And you don't make it. But I can't remember like the exact dialogue, but it's basically like, but you'll try harder next time. And then you try next time, the dice roll requirement is like a bit lower. And then I rolled again, and then I failed again, and I took a bit of damage, but then I just had to roll again and just keep rolling with the requirement getting lower and lower and lower each time, and just hope that I got a good roll before I lost all my hit points. Deeply unsatisfying. So that stuff isn't fantastic, but I mean that's literally my only complaint about it so far.
Yeah, that is
Really,
weird,
really
isn't it?
enjoyed
That's sort of like the
Yeah.
how do you handle that? I suppose. I mean, I don't really get the dice rolling stuff anyway. I mean, I know it's integral to these games and what they're going for and the themes and stuff, and you know, it's all part of the D&D stuff. Like, fine, I understand that it's playing to the themes, but I look at that as a video game fan and just think this is just it doesn't make no difference. I'd rather things change based on choices I've made rather than if I'm rolling a 6 or not.
Oh, no,
I'll never connect with that.
I get that, but then also one of the things that I liked with Disco Elysium, which I know as you said this is trying to like kind of massage over that a bit, is the sort of the occasional randomness of how life can be, which is what you get from a dice throw sometimes. Which
For
I
me,
quite
you put
like.
that into the writing and not necessarily the dice roll. I don't like you know, when I'm playing a game, I like randomness or seemingly things cropping up randomly. What I don't like is it literally just going flip a coin. Let's see where we go. I'd rather go. Well, you've done this, this, and this, so that directs where you're going. Like that's way more interesting to me.
Yeah,
Than
in general, I agree with you. It's just sometimes I like I like the idea of like you can put all your points into something, you can try you can get like build all up, but then sometimes it just doesn't work out. And
I
because
don't like that.
Is it
like
the
that.
seeing it you don't like? Is it actually like seeing the fact that there's randomness rather than it happening anyway in the background?
There's just like there's no control. I'm playing a game, and it just feels like, and isn't that the point? Not really. I mean, as you say, if you wanna gate choices off based on where you've spent your points, that makes sense to me because it's like, okay, I've built a character to do this, and this is happening, but then to do that and put your points into certain things and then go, but you didn't roll at 8. Okay, so that negates everything you've done to build up your character to that point and just goes, but you rolled an 8. And that makes that
it's like
to me.
in any game where you're allowed a degree of preparation and setting things up a certain way, you want that to pay off, don't you? Like it's like, but I made this decision to be good at this situation.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
And
sometimes I like it when it's like just a case of like, you can prepare as much as you want.
I
but
see. I
sometimes it just doesn't
absolutely
work out.
don't. Because it just makes you feel like you just fucking wasted your time.
Yeah. It's a bit like life, isn't it? Really.
For example,
life.
like I wouldn't mind like a
Oh, life.
50-50 flip of a coin if it was like if you were way below where you need to be to in terms of point wise to take because you could fluke it, right? I like that, but that wasn't what it was in Disco Elysium. It was pretty much everything had a dice roll to it, and it was just whether you had a higher chance or not. I think that I don't know that didn't interest me. But anyway, I know that some people like that. I'm not saying the way I look at it is the ultimate way because I'm not. Ultimately, I haven't played a lot of D&D, so I'm not the target audience for that. But yeah, it doesn't work for me. Okay, all right. Is that what you've been playing?
Definitely got to finish it. 100%. It's been a really nice one on the Steam Deck as well. Just like because I'm too thick to read actual books, but sitting on the sofa with this on the Steam Deck feels it's like a nice little novel, innit?
Don't be harsh. Listening to audiobooks counts as reading. All right.
Fact. I've heard that.
Fact counts as reading. We will quickly touch on some games that we have already mentioned. I will finish Minishoot Adventures. Spoke about it loads last week. Fucking brilliant. Like really, really good. The difficulty level, I played it on whatever the default was. It just worked perfectly for me. Felt just right. Challenging enough at the end. But not frustratingly so. I thought it was wonderful, and I'm going doing some post game stuff at the moment, and still playing it, still really really enjoying it. James, you absolutely have to buy this for your Switch too.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Perfect for that. It's so much fun.
When I'm away, that's what I'm gonna play it. That's my plan. It's it's the game I'm gonna play.
It's one for you. It was quite funny. I was playing it on the main telly for a bit, but I got so frustrated because it doesn't get like bullet hell to the point where it's like completely, but there are moments where there are tons of bullets on screen, especially with the final boss. and I was playing it on the big telly just so that I could play it on the Pro Controller and see what it felt like. And it felt fucking great. But mate, honestly, people in this house do not give a fuck what I'm doing these days. Just walking, standing in front of the telly midway through in a bullet hell game, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So that was getting on my nerves a bit. But that time I picked the Switch back up soon. I was like, right, just picked the Switch back and went into the corner of the room. But yeah, some game that Minishoot Adventure's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't played it, then get that played. Really good. Reanimal, you've continued your Reanimal stream, Matt, James?
We played it last Friday, and it was weird because it was a bit. I thought it was a bit of a slow start, like where we were at with it, and there was quite a lot of because a lot of the sections are quite open, and the signposting isn't massive in this game, and so we got kind of lost and kept going around in circles a bit. But then I don't know, I felt it kind of clicked at a certain point, and then I thought it was great. I thought, I had a really great time.
I mean, largely the bits where it's a bit more on rails, we enjoyed like the experience of being chased, or like that experience felt better than, as James says, wandering around the environment trying to work out what things we can interact with, what we couldn't. I mean, there was some nice puzzle bits where we were creeping away from these monsters. We got caught. We had to do it again a couple of times, but that was interesting. But because it was again clear what we had to do. Not that we're idiots, or it's incredibly hard, but the bits where it's on rails and we're getting chased or running away, and those were much more fun and exciting as well. So,
especially when we saw concept art, and then just got to get that.
Got killed as a result of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, those bits I'm enjoying them a lot more, but those bits you would say, James, are a lot more like the first two, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think it's a lot more like Little Nightmares, that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I thought that stuff was great. Yeah, and we ended in a really great place. There's like a good little chase sequence where we had to get in an ice cream truck and stuff. So I'm excited to get the next one. Get played next time we go on stream.
Yeah, it's still good. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Cool.
Me?
Anything else?
I mean, I've been playing. I need a tiny bit more. I've barely played this week, unfortunately. So I played a little more Planet of Lana 2. I'm really struggling to get into it as much as I love the first one. But you've played it this week, haven't you, James?
I should have said because I finished it.
You finished it this
I
week.
got through to the end, and I mean, as I said last time, I don't feel that this is like a massive sort of change at all from the first game. It really feels like this is part 2 of that, and I loved it. Like the ending in particular, I really liked, and mostly because it plays with a lot of the like it goes back to the story themes from the first game and brings them back, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like the way that they little bits that you sort of, because the advantage I had is I just finished the first game, so a lot of it was still really fresh in my mind. So seeing stuff again and seeing how they connected the two was really cool. And I mean, I'm really hoping there's going to be a third, because I'd like to see, because the way it ends is really interesting. And it landed really well. I mean, I felt really sad actually when I finished it, in a good way, because I was just like, that was quality. It was really good.
How long was it?
Probably about 4 or 5 hours. It's not that long.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
So
It's not like a massive long game or anything, but it really is more of the same than with the first game. But I still enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm just like not. It's not grabbing me to I'll keep playing. But I will go through it, even though it's taken me a while to get through this 4-hour game. But I don't know. I mean, even though it doesn't feel too different from the first one, I love the first one so much, and I still think it looks gorgeous. But I'm just not. It hasn't grabbed me yet in this opening hour and a half or so. But I mean, story wise, I mean, I'm obviously gonna keep pushing through, but you're obviously saying it gets better, James, and there's enough to keep you going. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. It's
Cool.
Nice
All
one.
right, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get to questions.
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co. Clark has done that. They say, hey up chaps, you ever had a go around? I know it sounds obscene, but hear me out. Flying back from Amsterdam this week, and of course a little hazy after engaging with the local culture, the flight is a bit turbulent, and as we start to land, the plane starts shaking heavily from side to side. Wheels out, ground is meters away for Heathrow's finest runway, and back up into the clouds we go. Pilot comes over the tannoy, apologises for being too close to the plane in front, and informs us we are circling around to try again. He's called a go-around and very standard procedure, but our collective buttholes went inside out. Anyway, I thought I would ask, what's your most scary travel experience? Cheers, chaps.
I've not had that, but that does sound fun.
It doesn't sound fun, Matt.
Well, sounds exciting. It's a little bit
What's
different.
the
Isn't
matter
it?
with you?
A little bit different. A little bit different. Mixing up a bit.
Mate, if there's one thing that I don't want different is a flight.
Yeah.
I want every
North
flight to be the most
please.
boring shit thing ever.
I don't mind a bit of turbulence. Oh,
Matt, what the fuck? What are you, the guy from Fight Club? What's this?
I don't know. I just mix up a bit. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember when I was on a flight, but with some mates when there's loads of turbulence, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a bit." I'm like, "This is cool." Isn't
Sitting
it?
there grinning
This is
from ear to ear.
I'm like, "Yeah,
I
two more
feel
cars
alive
work.
for
This
the
is great."
first time ever.
Someone else.
I don't think I've had any scary travel experiences. There was the time we went to Chamonix when I was like 15, and you can take the cable car up. So there's the Guilde de Midi, and then there's Mont Blanc, which is the biggest mountain. We took the cable car to the Guilde de Midi, and we were going to go on to Mont Blanc. And they're like, "No, the weather's really bad. All the cable cars are shut down." And we just had to spend like 12 hours in this one little visitor centre. And which in hindsight, I'm like, how did I not lose my fucking mind? And then also remembered that some people were just on the cable car as this was all happening.
Yeah, that would be a
And we
nightmare.
just had to, the entire time. Probably just do a wee out the window.
I mean, I know I've told you my scariest travel story,
go
and
on.
I don't know if I've actually said it on the main show. It's quite long, so I'll cut it down. But it's when I think it was about 21, and I went to Amsterdam with a friend, maybe even in 20, and the first night we got there, we misjudged things. Like, I thought it was called a marijuana hot chocolate just as a kooky name, and it
Yes.
wasn't.
Famously over there's a kooky stuff with no actual drugs
I'm
in.
joking about that.
So we had a joint and a marijuana hot chocolate, which meant we were fucked.
Yeah.
And then we walked straight after that. We walked around the red light district. We were 20.
It's a rite of
just to
passage.
see what was
We've all
going
done
on.
it. Yeah.
But we were all just like, looking at the floor as we were walking around. I go, no, thank you. And then I said, mate, my brain is frazzled at this point. So we said, let's just go to the nearest bar and just have a beer, and then let's go back to the hotel. And we walked into this bar, and it was quite a small bar. It reminded me of the sort of bars we used to take us to in Leeds, Matt, where it was just, narrow, long. And at the end, there was some local people watching the football, whatever football was on. And so we sat down, and the guy behind the bar was massive, skinhead, massive, had his back to us. And I was just like, okay, this is weird, right? And then I eventually went, oh, excuse me, can I have a beer? And the bloke turned around and looked at us like shit, right? I went, oh, two beers, please. Yeah. And he didn't say a word, poured the 2 beers out and slammed them on the table, took our money and walked off to watch the football at the end of the bar. I said, I don't know if we're welcome here, mate. Let's drink these and leave. So we were chatting for a little bit, and it was all fine. Anyway, someone comes into the pub behind us, leans over us, grabs the wet beer towel, right, that was on the bar, and threw it at the back of his head. It hits the bloke's head, the barman, right? He turns around, and then the bloke that threw it pointed at me and my mate.
God.
Fucking blood drained.
It's like shit that happens in movies.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be sick, right? So he comes over, and they're both shouting at each other, pointing at us every now and then, shouting at each other in Dutch. I go, right, fuck the beer, let's go. Go to stand up, push myself up from the bar. The guy behind us puts his hands on our shoulders, pushes us back down into the stalls, and I'm just like, that's it, we're dead. We're dead now, aren't we? And anyway, finally, it calms down, and the bloke who come into the pub was behind us, turns around in this accent and goes, all right, boys, the barman wants to know why you ain't chatting to him. And we just went, you've just been fucking with us. And he just burst into laughter. Turns out he was a Millwall fan. We didn't leave the pub until 2 a.m, right? We were drinking beers all night, hadn't paid for anything. And I was in the toilet and went, this is where we get screwed. This is where we get screwed now. They're going to drop us with like a £300 bill. So we went back, and we said, right, how much do we owe you? Because we were doing shots. We were doing shots and chucking them across the bar to try and hit the sink. Like he was like the barman was going, yeah, try and get in the sink. If it doesn't, it explodes, whatever. And then and it was only like the four of us in the bar at that point. And we said, how much do we owe you? And he went, you gave us a good night. Don't worry about it. Enjoy Amsterdam. And I just went. He said that was it. He said, just make sure you come back in here before you leave. We fucking didn't. But holy shit. Yeah, and that was honestly, I've never been so scared in my life. I don't think. I think like when he put his arms on his shoulders, pushed back down in the chair, I genuinely thought I was going to throw up on the bar. Like I was so scared. But turns out there are Millwall fans everywhere. You get away with it. Yeah, that was my scary Amsterdam story. James?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I think driving around like mountains in China in a minibus, like around those like tiny like things with the person driving far too fast.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
I've done that on numerous occasions, and
I imagine it's way worse.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, you get that in Europe, right? But I imagine it's way worse in China because
I was going to say, is it fair to assume the roads aren't very well maintained? Or is that...
Sometimes not, and then also it was like all misty as well, and it was just like it was. And I remember like I was just thinking, okay, I'm not gonna look at what's going on here, and I remember because this was when was this? This would have been like in like about 2006 or something, 2007, and I was just sat in the back on looking at my. It was like an iPod video, and I was just sitting there just watching Arrested Development. Because I was just like,
great day.
I'm just watching this. I'm not focusing on what's going on around me, and it's if it's over, it's over, and I'm just gonna watch this. That was it. But yeah, there's loads of stuff like that. Yeah, good series. It's good series.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, excuse me.
what?
Moving on.
That's a line from Resident Evil Requiem. Come on, really gotta.
Tobias, does it?
What did they purposely take that from?
Oh
Zelda,
yeah, it's
the
a
cartoon?
character being really awkward.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tobias.
okay.
Dr. Tobias Fumike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you not seen the rest of Element though?
Yeah, I never got on with it.
Oh man,
Mate.
I got about 5 episodes in and thought this thinks it's more clever than it is.
Oh, it is.
But then
it is.
I was in a very twatty stage at that. Yeah, I mean, I was in that sort of zone with things. So
only like the first two, and maybe the third series is good, but
yeah, it does go downhill. But those first two are all time. I mean, like that and The Office, like time for all time fest to me.
no,
they are.
for sure,
it is really good, David.
Yeah,
but up there with The Office.
Elodie loves Modern Family, and I keep saying like, okay, this is basically kind of Arrested Development without the real big laughs. So I keep trying to say, can we watch Arrested Development next time? Because she loves Modern Family, which is heavily inspired by, that. It's even got dysfunctional family, all the same camera angles and jokes and stuff, but not quite up there with.
I will say that David Cross and Will
like...
Arnett are two of my favourites. I love those two.
Love Jason Bateman, brilliant. Yeah.
But yeah, just how for so long we were like, oh, bring it back, bring Arrested Development. Oh my God, Netflix is bringing it back. This is going to be so good. It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Hey ho. The next question comes from Poo in a Tin.
Oh yeah.
It says, this next question is from my absolute favourite contributor, Poo in a Tin. In fact, I would go so far to say I prefer him to most of my fellow presenters. His question is...
Hey, Sean. That's out of order, mate. We're friends, aren't we?
Yeah, why would you say that to us?
Work colleagues. His question is, escape rooms are a real-life interpretation of a point-and-click adventure game. Paintball is a real-life interpretation of Call of Duty. Pong has tennis. Street Fighter and Tekken has MMA. So what computer game genre could we make a real-life interpretation of and make millions of quid from? Bagsy 50% intellectual property of any ideas. Yours faithfully, Poo in a Tin.
I would say platforming, but Takeshi's Castle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's already been done.
That's a shame. That is the shame.
Yeah, but that's old. Like, I guess I can bring that back. They can do something new about it, couldn't they? You can do a new version.
Of what? Yeah, they did. It was called Wipeout.
Yeah, that's also old. That's 10, 15 years old.
There's a modern Takeshi's Castle as well.
How modern are we talking though?
Is there? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's got
Craig Castle involved.
Takeshi's Castle 2.
Ramesh Ranganathan and what's his name? Tom Davies do the commentary on it. It's really good.
Oh, really? Shit, I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
All right. Okay, well, that then.
Proved us wrong. What? Yeah, that's such a good question because there's bound to be great examples, but everything I'm thinking it exists from a real life inspiration.
FC 26, real life
Yeah.
version of football.
That'd be
That'd
awesome.
be decent.
Mm.
Aye, wouldn't it? Aye.
Sounds bad.
Chance to be a 5 thing.
Shut
I mean,
up.
the first thing was like road like deck builders, but then, that's
What
not really.
about what about Windjammers, Sean? Well, that is
Yeah.
that's-
Oh,
that's
yes.
probably a thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that not already a thing?
I mean, there's ultimate
No.
frisbee, but it's not really.
Yeah, you can't. There's no way that you make windjammers like in real life. What are you going to do with that? How do you do that?
Throw frisbee at each other.
Yeah, I know, but like if it hits the wall, unlike in windjammers where it goes left and right really quickly, it'll just
Yeah,
sort of
that's
just
true.
wobble and then hit the floor, and you go,
Yeah.
okay, well, what's
never
the
mind.
point in that? Yeah, I think
we'd
most
run a
good
speedball?
ideas have been done.
Speedball?
I saw you Google speedball.
Yeah,
and
no.
you were like,
Only if it's
Do you
Speedball
do you want me to tell you what I actually Googled? So I couldn't remember my name. Brutal Ice Sport Game Mega Drive. I was like, what is it? It's yeah. Anyway, that
I was chatting to
Speedball.
Blake about old games, right? And do you remember the old sort of themed games you used to get? Do you remember Mutant Football or Mutant Ice Hockey?
Yeah.
Is it Mutant Ice Hockey? And then the one we were thinking about was the Outlaw series, Outlaw Golf and Outlaw Volleyball.
Yes.
Mm.
And the Outlaw Volleyball's the one that me and Blake played all the time. Like we were referencing all these games that only we played seemingly, like Brute Force, Airblade, which we were obsessed with, and Outlaw Volleyball. And I remembered that Outlaw Volleyball had this like wacky commentator that's like, hey, in fact, actually, I could play you a bit because I sent him a clip. Hold on. I sent him a clip of it and said, do you remember Outlaw? Oh, 1 sec. I've got to play this. Sorry, everyone. Just
alright.
bear with me. Here it is. Right. This was the wacky commentator.
Lizzie is ready to hit the bloody bleeding ball. And you thought I couldn't pick a corner.
Right. Okay.
A bloody
Steve
bleeding
Carell.
ball.
Bloody bleeding ball.
Steve Carell.
Really?
What?
Steve Carell. Yeah.
No way.
Steve Carell.
That's
Right. He's not
his
putting
gig.
on a voice. That's just his voice. Ready?
Lizzie is ready to hit the bloody bleeding ball.
yeah. You do recognise him now, yeah.
Yeah. It's Steve Carell. Yeah. How fucking weird is that?
That is. That's got his big break.
Yeah, that was. I would be if I was doing a interview with him. I would open with that. You know how you interviewed someone, you've got to come out something niche and cool. To
Yeah,
show,
no one else
hey,
has done
That's
it.
what
in
Richard
I'm not
Herring
like
does,
all the
doesn't he?
others.
When he introduces someone, he's like, "Hey, they're best known as the commentator on."
Yeah.
volleyball."
Yeah, I could be like, hey, so you were the commentator on Outly Volleyball? Yeah, I don't really remember it, mate. It was years ago. Okay, how was
Most
the
people ask me about the
office?
office. Ask me about the office. Actually, speaking of Steve Carell, his new HBO comedy is like it's done incredibly well, isn't it? Like it's like highly rated.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like
know anything about
yeah.
Alright.
So
It's not the
something
bonus show,
to
Matt.
look out for.
Okay.
Next
we move
question
on.
comes from Gasmark4, who says,
yeah.
taking last
My
week's
favourite
cheese
Gasmark.
question to the extreme, you can now only have burnt cheese or frozen cheese. Which do you pick?
Burnt 100%.
Burnt.
It's going to
Yeah.
be burnt, right? But then surely frozen cheese, you can wait for it to thaw out, technically. It's
But
very
that's
against
not
the
in the
rules.
spirit of it.
cheese.
though, is it?
Yeah,
Burnt
no, you've
cheese
got to
can
eat it.
taste really good as well.
Yeah.
I think burnt cheese, yeah, because burnt cheese
Yeah.
can be good.
Burnt cheese is fucking great sometimes.
Yeah.
If you have like cheese on toast, and like the really burnt crispy bits fall
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Like, but-
Yeah, no, you're
that
probably
bit of
right.
That's like a little
bark
snack
on-
before the main snack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like burnt ends and beef, innit?
Yeah.
When you go there, they go. I mean, the restaurants don't even hide it now. This is the shit bits that get first.
Oh, flavour is flows
That's what they
outwards.
tell
To the,
you.
yeah.
But
that was easy.
if we're saying for Sean, it's against the spirit of the question. If we can't wait for frozen cheese to defrost, then are we saying we have to eat burnt cheese when it's on fire,
That's
basically?
true, yeah, so yeah, we're therefore not
Well, not
allowed
when
to
it's
say,
on fire.
burnt cheese, but the nice kind.
Yeah, no, it's got to be the worst kind of burnt cheese. Yeah,
I think I would still just prefer burnt cheese regardless.
yeah, I'll choose neither. Thank you. I won't eat,
Yeah, I'll just
eat
eat-
either of it.
I'll eat something
You've
else.
got to choose one, David. That's the game.
Okay, burnt cheese then.
burnt cheese. That was actually pretty easy.
We need to stop talking about this
One
stuff
shot
late at
taste.
night. It's ridiculous.
You get nightmares.
And that.
The next
I
question.
was happy with that one. That was a
yeah,
Matt
no,
Murray
yeah,
style
yeah,
joke.
you
and
know
it
what?
worked. I'm happy
Yeah,
with
well
that one.
done,
Thank you.
well done, well done. It's kind of sort of shit I do. Move on.
Next question.
I don't mind inspiring a younger comedian.
Thank you,
Comes from
Ramalaptar,
Sean.
who puts good joke in the chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate you.
That sounds like one of mine, doesn't it, Roman Aptar? Doesn't it? Okay, let's move on.
It's better.
Kind of.
Almost as good as Matt's jokes.
Almost.
Sean says, not me, someone else, a different Sean, says, long-time listener, brackets, magnetic, close brackets. I think this is my first ever question, though. Been under the weather recently, so I decided to play something a bit more chill after Resident Evil Requiem. So I'm currently playing through Chrono Trigger for the first time. Very much enjoying it, but can't help think how much my mind would have been blown if I'd played it as a kid back in '95. What game did you only get around to playing as an adult that you really wished you'd played when it was originally released?
Oh, fuck it.
Chrono
I
Trigger does hold
cannot
up.
think of
There's some bits in Chrono Trigger I was like, I'm looking at a guide for this. This is bullshit.
You meant you were talking about that only a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Chrono Trigger, or was that another one?
So I still haven't finished it, but yeah, I'm in the sort of end game now. Because it's so funny, and I hopefully I made this clear at the time. You know, like when we were talking about how good Expedition 33 was, and I was saying like it's really cool because you get to a point in the story where it's like, look, you can go to the final boss, or there's all this extra shit. It's kind of up to you. And I hope I acknowledged that. I'm pretty sure Expedition 33 is borrowing stuff from loads of other JRPGs. Chrono Trigger does the same thing, and that was in 1995.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just, you just reach this point where it's like, here's all this extra stuff. If you want, it will make the final boss easier, but it's up to you. You can go straight to it if you want. Good game.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty much anything in the PS1 era because I never actually owned a PS1. I borrowed one for a little bit, off a mate when they were nearly done. But I think of like Metal Gear Solid. I wish I played that at the time on PS1. Even though the way that I've gone with Kojima games.
And that was such a formative experience playing that demo. I think I said this on the pod before, but going to school the next day, I'm like, guys, this game makes you feel like nervous and tense, and it's a video game. It's like I couldn't believe that a game could make me feel a different emotion other than like, well, I've got a new time trial score. It's like it makes you feel emotions in like stressful ones.
Sit down, Murray. Shut up. Sit down.
But sir, I went in a box.
And that was just the teachers. That and obviously the Final Fantasy VII. Again, these are not games that I appreciate now, but there are I just remember some of the stuff my mate said about Final Fantasy VII at the time and about how much it was like a whole world, and I had to sit down and watch him play it for 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it, but when you've got it, like you will force yourself when you at that age. And you've got a PlayStation 1 or whatever, you will force yourself to play it and get into it, So I feel like I missed out on that era of gaming for sure.
And for me personally, I don't go back. I don't look back. I just look forward. If I don't like it, that's that's how I live my life.
Because you didn't start playing video games until you started this podcast. That's why.
That's fucking. I was playing games before you were born. I was only playing games before you were playing games. That's a real quiz. All right, live a bit. All right, okay, fucking live a bit, mate. Let's get on.
Right.
You got any, James?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, not really anything from back, like, when I was like a kid, really young or anything. But I think probably because I missed most of the PS3 era, like in terms of like PS3 games, because I didn't have one.
Oh, you didn't miss much, boy. Don't worry about that one.
Uncharted was one of those. That when I because I'd never played it, and then when I played that, I was like, I wish I had played this when it first came out because it's great. I thought it was really good, but yeah, I can't think of anything that's like from like a long time ago. Sorry.
Moving on then.
Okay.
Sina Sonasena says, a wealthy relative bestows upon you as his dying wish £10,000 to spend in any way you'd like on the podcast. What do you change? What do you purchase, and why?
Shit.
Great question.
£10,000. What would we chat? There's not much. It needs to be more.
Really,
I mean, for me, that's probably just a pre-order for a new Xbox. Am I right?
Hey,
Give me the bacon. No.
Give me the bacon.
I feel like the only.
Like you said then.
Give me the bacon.
Give me the bacon.
I feel like the only thing that would make there'd be like an interesting change for the show is if there was a way of us doing it in person once a week. But I don't think 10 grand would
10 grand's not
change.
gonna do it.
No, I
That's
mean-
a logistic problem more than a money
But
one.
what we could do, if we put our money together, we can have 40 grand and we'll have like a studio for a weekend and have like and do crazy shit for like a weekend, incredible quality.
Yeah,
we just
that
buy
would
a
be
really
good.
bad house.
I know the answer. And it
Yeah.
might not cover it, but it come fucking close.
Mm.
We all go to Japan and we film it like a
Yes.
like a little travel documentary. Of us
Yeah,
going
That is
to
a
Japan.
I mean, I
brilliant
think
That's why
10
I'm
grand
doing
each
that.
would cover it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we could. That would cover that.
I think, yeah, especially, yeah, because isn't the yen really weak at the moment?
Yeah.
We're just do it now then.
Yeah, let's do it. What?
Fucking rad.
It is. That's a real thing.
He's
Everyone's
right.
like,
Sean
no,
is
no,
right.
no,
He's
no,
right.
Japan now.
It was just,
China.
I wasn't even thinking. Yes, of course, because isn't the yen really weak at the moment? It just come
I
out.
read about
nowhere.
that in the Financial Times. Definitely wasn't on a YouTube video.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do a travel documentary. We go somewhere together.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Either Japan or somewhere that James really hates, because it'd just be really funny just watching him strolling about
Yeah, but
somewhere
if we
that he
took
really.
James to Japan, we get to see him experience joy for the first time. so-
That would be brilliant. We'd have
I
to
was
film
happy
in
when I was there.
4K.
It was good. I had a great
Yeah.
time last time I was there.
Yeah. Yep.
Next question comes from DB. It says damage, reload speed, capacity, stability. In what order are you upgrading your weapon stats?
Damage first, always.
Yeah, damage. I mean, maybe in that. No, almost in order: damage, reload, stability, and then capacity. I reckon.
Does it have to be those four? Because normally, like fire rate is one, right? And that's usually where because I'm bad at shooting, so I'm like, well, if it just shoots more bullets quickly.
No,
More
yeah, but
likely
that's
to
not
hit
on this
something.
list.
Yeah,
We're
well,
going
do
back-
stability,
if we
do
go
it
with
like
this
slower
list-
but better.
I agree with Matt. I think you just had to switch around stability and capacity, and then
See, for,
So I think if you
for me, I
have the
would go-
first three, capacity means less anyway. I think.
I'll
for
just
me,
go
it'd be go
maximum- sorry.
capacity, stability, damage, reload speed. That would be the way I go.
Really,
Don't-
more
If you've
capacity
got loads
first.
of capacity, you don't need reload speed.
Yeah.
It's completely
yeah,
pointless.
but if they're coming at you like really strong, then you need to be able to do you
gotta
need to be
live
able to
with it.
damage them.
Just can't
Yeah.
live with it, James.
Say again?
You don't need to reload.
You don't need. Yeah, I know, but you need to you need to be stable.
Are you trying to make innuendos here?
No, I'm
Is
not.
that where you're going?
I'm
Okay.
not.
It sounds like you were trying to do innuendos, but you were.
It's so
shit at
seen
it.
that
I'll
way.
be honest with you.
You just
did,
say
didn't it,
if they're
Matt?
coming in your face.
I didn't
make
say
sure
that.
it's-
I said if they're
Hold
coming
off
at
this.
you, like really,
really
hard.
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really strong,
Make sure it's wrong, you
all
gotta
over
just
your
gotta
face.
be
That's
very
basically
hard.
what you just said to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Unbelievable.
And
behaviour.
you're
move on.
okay. Yeah, good question,
This isn't
DB.
what DB wanted. They wanted
Thanks,
to now
That's
look
not
like
what
it's
you
gone.
want.
move
No
on.
one wants to see this. No one wants to see this.
Eskil says, Dear Jolly Jim, Mary Matt, Bonnie Bell, and Dancing Dave, I find your toilet
Ran
talk
out of
gross.
ideas.
Anyway, I just threw up on the train. My dear friend Håkon Lingstad compared my vacation spirit to Mr. Murray yesterday when I expressed my wish to roam the island of Hokkaido. Which member of the pod would you most like to go on a road trip with around a new and strange place for a week? Love, Eskil. P.S. Why the bloody hell is the train heat on when it's 7 degrees out? 7 degrees is cold enough for train heat. And then trains always really bloody hot because there's people on them. Maybe the
Sean, I
heat
want you
is-
to answer this question first. If you had to choose one person to do travel around an unknown place with, who would that be?
I mean, it's cheating, but the obvious answer is get James to give me a tour of China, right?
Yeah.
No, because it says a new and strange place. It must be.
New and strange.
Yeah,
to
neither of
me.
you have been there before.
Yeah, it's got to be both of you, right? That's the whole point.
Oh fuck, I don't know. Because we already because Japan is the obvious one, but we've just talked about that.
It's
Me
not
and Dave-
about where you're going.
It's not where. It's a
Nintendo
journey, not a
headquarters in
destination.
Kyoto. There you go.
What
How's
does that mean? You going where?
The Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto.
I'd fucking love that.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I don't know if you can pick where you're going though. We're just going to a new and strange place, right?
We're not choose the place.
Yeah, so that makes it even riskier because you don't. Yeah. See,
You
my
could go to
answer would
Slough.
always be James Farley. I would go with James Farley because just watching him walk around and getting confused by stuff and getting a little bit more irate.
I thought you
Every
were going to say
moment.
like because he's lived in more countries than the rest of us, so
No.
surely he's the most.
Yeah, but he
worldly.
hasn't. No. James has lived and been to more places than any of us, right? zero integration with anything that's going on around us.
That's not
Hated
true at
every
all.
second of it.
That's completely
James,
not true.
you won't buy video games out there because you don't want the interaction with people.
David, I've spent years learning other language when I lived
know.
in China.
And refusing to use it because right, okay, Germany.
Germany's different.
Is it?
Yeah.
He sends listeners. He sends us photos around Germany at this point, complaining about things that they're doing. It's someone's put a bike out to reserve a space.
Come on, that was
That was pretty
I
weird.
know. Matt.
I'm going to go Sean, because Sean and I haven't spent enough time together. So I reckon me and Sean road trip to. Oh, we don't get
What
to
if
choose,
that's
do
a
we?
mistake? What if you get there and go, oh, that's why we haven't spent that much time together?
I think it'll be fine. I think. How long
You
was
two
it?
sitting going,
Yeah, it was just me and Sean
what
together in the Antarctic. Like, oh, actually, it's well cold out here.
I might go to
I'll
bed.
go for that.
It's 6 o'clock.
I'll make some new friends outside in the igloos.
Offensive?
Bye, buddy. No, you
No,
can say
igloos. I can say
No,
igloos.
you
I
can
wasn't
say
talking about the
igloos.
people.
Assumption that they all
Oh,
live in
fuck
them.
him.
Like,
Matt. Oh, wokey wokerson over
Yeah.
here, so we
Can't
can't
say
even say
igloo anymore,
igloos
can you?
anymore. What are they called? Winter
fucking
huts?
You won't even let me
Yeah.
say igloo. Fuck you know.
Yeah. Back in my day, you could say igloos. Can't say that anymore.
Nah. James.
Ice premises, James.
Okay. I would probably choose. I wouldn't choose you, David.
Fuck you.
No,
horrible.
because you'd just be fucking moaning all the time. I don't think I could handle it. Seriously.
Mate,
What?
that's the opposite of what I'd be like. I love
Well,
being in
glass houses,
places that I'm
James,
going to.
come on.
I find everything funny. I'd be great company. So fuck you. You're
Alright.
missing out on a treat. Do you all right?
Kill him
Sounds like a
past
threat
death
now.
blow. Oh, no, he's all right. Still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll go with you. There you go.
Oh wow, easily
What a turnaround.
changed his mind.
Yeah, he showed no backbone there.
Yeah,
did
I'm
he,
glad. You know
James?
what? I'm glad you didn't choose me, James. If you could change your mind that soon, bloody hell. What's the point? You'd be like, yeah, I'll go with you, Matt, and then I'll go to the airport. Oh no, I'll go on Dave now. Like, I see you both on a plane.
That sort of.
I'm in departures on my own with some duty free or whatever.
And you were sitting there going, please be turbulence.
Yeah,
I nearly die.
yeah.
Final question.
That's what I do with this turbulence.
It's from Maria Mendieta. He says, Dear TCGS Cacnea, during a conversation this weekend, a sociologist friend brought up the point that taste is cultural. This reminded me of James critiquing Matt for having questionable taste in platformers, which might be the reason Matt abandoned the genre altogether, opting instead to exclusively play detective games. How much of your own gaming tastes have been the result of social factors rather than internal decisions? Keep up the tremendous work. Sincerely, Maria.
I mean, I don't listen to any of that. Like, I don't give. I play what. I'll tell you what, Maria. I likes what I likes. Yeah, I likes what I likes. There's nothing else going on there, mate. Yeah, I don't get influenced. I mean, the only thing recently may be of influence from outside, other than me saying I'm directly going to be interested in this genre, is Art Raiders. I watched a bunch of TikTok videos of people being very funny on that and thought I need a piece of that.
And
in my
Sean
life.
said it was good on the show. And
That did zero impact,
I
baby.
really
It's
swung
me.
it. Really, that was the
Zero
final.
impact.
Very sure John Denton played it once, and he's like, okay, I'm in.
He said it's great.
No, because John really struggled to. He tried to get me in day one, and I just said no. I think there was part of me that knew that I was going to be massively addicted to it. I'm back planning again this week, by the way. I've just stopped mentioning it. But yeah, no, it was literally just it was influencing from people saying, these extraction shooters create these amazing moments, which I guess is not even what you're driving at there, Maria. That is just generally reading good stuff about video games. So
I suppose,
I don't know.
yeah, because I suppose the main obvious answer to this is like what we played when we were very young, because we had no control over what we had to play games on at the time. It was entirely parish
Sure, yeah.
decisions, financial situations, etc. Like,
Hmm.
I had a Commodore 64, but I never played any Amiga games because we couldn't afford an Amiga. But we were good enough to not have a Spectrum. That was nice at least. Um, so yeah, so I guess like sort of socioeconomic factors, when you're young, are a thing.
Yeah,
I was
but do you
quite
think that's
lucky,
influenced how you play games these days?
I
I
think
don't know.
I
I guess
think
not, because now obviously another thing, because now we're very lucky that we're in the position we are, that we have the income from the show to pay for stuff. It's just free time limits us at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounds like we're like disgustingly wealthy. We're not. But
James is.
fuck off.
there are things like I would never have played on a Dreamcast were it not for my brother being a couple of years older and getting a job and buying one with his own money, and then me playing on it while he was out, and then coming home and I'm like, haha, I'm playing on your Dreamcast. It's probably quite annoying,
Banter.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, well, good.
Good.
I mean, yeah,
Alright.
this isn't taste, but then you think about, like, I guess it's maybe more societal than social. But think about the game from Zawam, like the new like okay follow up to spiritual successful follow up to Disco Elysium. Like, if a lot of us stop playing the game because of the more societal factors or the history of the studio, like that's not really affecting our own gaming taste, but it may affect gaming tastes of people that are coming up and they've heard about this previous great game and now they're deciding against playing that, or people that are turning away from Xbox for funding Gaza, for the war in Gaza and stuff. I think these things will have a bigger impact, but yeah, I can't see much of my own gaming taste being a result of that, really. I mean, I guess I played loads of Sega Saturn with my mates in Bognor, and I guess that was the reason I bought a Saturn. So maybe my life would be so different if I hadn't met them and I'd been a PlayStation guy. God knows where I'd be now. But as it is, I got a Saturn and I'm here.
It's a beautiful,
It all worked out.
beautiful walk
It's
through
interesting,
Matt
though, isn't it? 'Cause
Murray's
you say
life.
that there might be, sort of social or moral reasons why you wouldn't buy a certain game, but you might actually be like, no, I know I would really like it. So my taste is that I would still like it, but I just don't want to give whoever money. Whereas like in the example of Zero Parades for Dead Spies New Zone game, I went into it like thinking, no, I'm going to be open minded. Like, I don't like the company, but I'm gonna I can still play the demo and be and you'd be like, I think this was really good, but I just couldn't. Like, I just didn't like it, and I cannot figure out if that's because it's genuinely not as good or just because I've got this mental block of like, I don't like the company, and so forget it. Yeah,
All right.
that was
That it. I think that might be it. Matt, let's hear from the socials.
Yes, so Friday at 9, Play by the Bell is back. Last Friday, Sean played the Raccoin demo.
Thursday.
It's Thursday. I say Friday. That's right. I know. Thursday at 9. Thursday at 9, Play by the Bell. Sean, we're back on twitch.tv/TCGS code to play something of his choosing. There'll be no James and me playing Reanimal on Friday because I'm away. But we are going to try and do something next week, but that can't be Friday. It'll be maybe another day next week.
It'll have to be earlier in the week if we're going to.
We'll see what we can do. But yeah, nothing this week. But if you want to watch our Reanimal stream so far, they're on youtube.com/@TCGS, and you can also see previous Play by the Bell streams. You can watch this podcast and video and other talk servers we've done, any other streams. They're all over on YouTube. But back on Twitch, if you have an Amazon account or Amazon Prime account and Twitch account, connect them. You get something called Prime Gaming. We get a free subscription to any channel of your choice. Want to go to our channel and give us your free subscription. Really appreciate those that do that. And we're on Patreon. If you want to support what we're doing, patreon.com/TCGS. We're going to record the bonus show imminently. And on Sunday night, we're going to be playing John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, the details of which will be out this week on Patreon at the various tier, which is Smashing It, £8.50 and above tier. And the website is tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community. It's lively every day. Go over there if you want to chat with like-minded nerds in your area. There's also our Patreon, our socials, podcasts, our Strava club. It's all over on tcgs.co.
Thank you so much for living it. What a lovely time we've spent together this week. We will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.